Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by individuals on this platform, the callers plus invited guests, are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with this brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.
Don't touch that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk Free Radio.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Sal Showtime. Shabbat Shalom, Debate Talk for You audience. I hope everybody's doing okay, and I just hope everybody just tunes in and gets something out of tonight's lesson.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you being here live. And, it's kind of, cool that, I got you here for the first show. There's a lot of things going on right about now. I guess when I asked you on the air, did you complete that video? We talked about behind the scenes. If you want to put it out there, you can do that.
Yeah, I put the video out there. The documentary, 4.5-hour documentary, titled is The Secret Gay Agenda Among the Kemetic Conscious Groups. It was highly received, you know what I'm saying? People have checked it out. Haven't really got any real response from it yet. I don't pretend like certain things ain't going on. The Almond Rock Squad, they did a Google Hangout where they called themselves attempting to address 2 or 3 things that I brought out in the documentary. Everybody knows who saw the documentary that I brought more than 3 things to the table. Like I said, it's 4.5 hours long. And, of course, since they decided to respond on social media, and I got to be honest, they weren't disrespectful or nothing, little cocky maybe, but, weren't disrespectful. So, of course, they have a video coming. You know how I do. You know how I get down. Just had to put that out there, Sal. But other than that, the documentary is still available on my online store, AbsoluteBibleTruth.com/store. Again, AbsoluteBibleTruth.com/store. After the Shabbat or Sabbath, swing by there, check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Get back at me. Let me know what you think. And that's what some people did, too. And they told me they loved it. They were blown away by it. So check it out if you haven't already. Thank you.
And that's to let the people know, if you're on Blog Talk Radio, I have the link actually in the description box. You can just click the link if you want to purchase the video immediately. It's right here in the description box. So, LeVar, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Sal. Shabbat Shalom, Josh, and everybody from the ABT family, as well as the Debate Talk for You listening family. I consider this my second home to Absolute Bible Truth, of course, but this is definitely a forum that we love to come on and put out what we believe and what we understand. So dealing with this topic, I hope everybody is edified tonight. Thank you.
All right, so let's jump right into this. Josh, you can take it away.
Appreciate that, Sal. And thank you, again, Debate Talk for You, for tuning in to hear this lesson. And I decided to do this particular class, just to repeat it again. It's titled Christian Values in Ancient Egypt or Ancient Kemet, What the Conscious Groups Don't Tell You. And I want to emphasize the part about what the conscious groups don't tell you. Because, since I did my documentary, and even before then, I won't say I had dealings in the conscious community, but I can tell you that I have been closely observing the conscious community. And most of you already know that when it comes to the conscious community, they are pretty much Afrocentric more than anything. I mean, they're real big on the black people. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to ancient Egypt or ancient Kemet, there's really no nice way to say this, and LeVar knows this. They're not really representing Egypt at all. And I haven't come across anybody in the ancient, in the conscious community who are representing the ancient Kemetic lifestyle as outlined by who they would call the ancestors. When I look at the conscious community, what I see are a lot of people talking about issues and tackling issues and going back and forth on things that are not going to, quote, unquote, liberate black people. I see people talking about all kinds of issues that has nothing to do with ancient Kemet. You got people walking around saying, I represent Kemet, and then you just like, well, how can you say that? And they'll say, black power. The ancient Kemetic people were not walking around hollering black power. You follow what I'm saying? They were not walking around hollering black power. They were not walking around with the black, the green, and the red. They weren't doing any of that. In fact, the ancient Egyptians believed in afterlife so strongly that they felt that how they conducted themselves in this life played a great role of what side of the afterlife they would end up on. Now, if you're in the conscious community, you know nobody is talking about the afterlife. Nobody is talking about the wrath of God or the wrath of the gods, you know. And when you try to come from a biblical perspective, well, quite frankly, these people laugh at you. They try to tell you that you're pushing the white man's religion. They'll say the white man gave you that Bible, which is a lie. I got a whole video on YouTube right now titled, Did the Europeans Give Us Christianity? And I prove emphatically from scripture, from history, from the Greek language, that they did not give us Christianity. But this is the type of stuff they'll tell you. But then they'll say, you know, the white man gave you that Bible, and you say to do what? To oppress you, to slave you. Well, the last time I checked, sisters and brothers, a book cannot physically oppress anybody unless you make yourselves subject to the tenets in that book. And they'll say, well, that's what we're talking about. Y'all are making yourselves subject to those tenets in that book. And then they say, you need to go back to Kemet. But the funny thing I'm going to show you, sisters and brothers, is that when you go back to Kemet, you find these same tenets in Kemet. They have this same stuff. The ancient Egyptians believed this same stuff. That's why I called it Christian values in ancient Egypt. I don't mean that the ancient Egyptians were Christian, and I don't mean that the Christians got these values from ancient Egypt. I call it Christian values because if you call yourself represent Kemet, then based on what you're reading in their wisdom literature, you really shouldn't be able to tell the difference between a Christian and somebody who represents Kemet, because they were told to behave in very similar fashion. What the conscious community has done is they put down the Bible and they're trying to use Kemet as a license to just wild out. That's the reason why you see these guys cursing and carrying on the way they do. They belittle people. They try to tell people that the ancient Egyptians were all black people, which they were, but they try to tell you that's the only people that God, if there is one, was concerned with. And they'll tell you things like, you know, the white man, he's a mutant, and he came from the black man. He's like a degenerate human being, and white people are not completely human. They say all of this stuff. But you know what's so crazy, sisters and brothers? When you go into ancient Kemet and read the literature, it doesn't say that about the white people. I'm going to show y'all tonight that it says that Amun-Ra, that's right, I know there's a conscious group known as Amun-Ra Squad. I hope they're listening. I hope they call in. It tells you that Amun-Ra created all races. And he loves and cares about all of them. It actually says that. It actually even says skin colors. It says all of it. It tells you that he loves humankind. These are the same things that the Bible teaches. But what the conscious community has managed to do is trick you into believing that all of this stuff is only the white man's Bible type of stuff and the white man's Christianity. And they'll say, you need to go back to Kemet. That brother who Lamar was debating the last time he was on here. You know, God bless him, he was bringing out some of this stuff. Unfortunately, it's not even mentioned enough. in the conscious community because they're not really teaching this stuff. They hate this kind of stuff. They don't want nobody to get on this stuff and really make a change in their life because this is what's going to really liberate everybody, this moral conduct. And nobody wants to talk about moral conduct. You got people who say they represent Kemet or Egypt, and how do they spend their time claiming they're trying to liberate black people? By having an evolution conference, trying to prove that we evolved. These people represent Kemet, Egypt, sisters and brothers. I want y'all to understand that the ancient Egyptians, and I feel stupid for having to even say this, but the ancient Egyptians were not evolutionists. They did not believe in evolution. They were creationists. That's just a fact, and it's too easy to prove. Then they have something called a UFO conference. Are you kidding me? A UFO conference is supposed to liberate our people. They make fun of us. Y'all looking up at the sky, looking for Jesus, waiting on Jesus. Last time I checked, UFOs were supposed to come from the sky too. So what are y'all looking at? Y'all looking up too, waiting for UFOs. Why do you even care about UFOs? And some of these people even teach or come from people who taught that UFOs are coming to save us. That sounds like the same thing to me. Some beings coming from above to save us out of this condition. But you got people having UFO conferences, talking about they're supposed to liberate our people. Got us talking about sci-fi and aliens and stuff. But they don't want to hear nothing about the Bible. They try to tell you the Bible is a mythological book. It's a book of fables and all of that stuff in it. You ain't got to go by any of this stuff. Ain't no God, ain't no devil. That ain't what the ancient Egyptians believed. I'm going to show you tonight that the ancient Egyptians feared dying wrong. Just like we Christians do. The ancient Egyptians believed in a vengeful God. Just like we Christians do. The ancient Egyptians believe you will get punished in the afterlife for what you do here. Just like we Christians do. The ancient Egyptians believed that they served a God that got mad at mankind and punished a large number of mankind by killing them, just like we Christians believe. So why is it that the Bible is so taboo in the Kemetic conscious community? I mean, I'm going to show you that the ancient Egyptians believed the same thing. Why everybody looking at us like we crazy when we talk about, hey, man, you need to check yourself, man. Stop all this lying, man. You know, show some patience, show some gentleness. Show some humility. You know, the Bible. Oh, I don't want to hear about that Bible, about that white Jesus. Stop trying to shove that white man's Bible down our throat. Okay, tonight we're going to come from Kemet then. We're going to go to the Bible just to show you the comparison. Who are coming from Kemet? So now you ain't got no excuse. Now you can't be like, well, that's that Bible. No, this is Kemet. And what's so funny, LeVar, what kills me, is that they keep saying the Bible plagiarized Kemet. Well, if that is the case, why don't y'all behave like Christians? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If we copy y'all, why aren't y'all acting like the tenants that we supposedly copied? Where's your fruit of the Spirit? Where's your humility? Where's your temperance? Where's your anger management? Yes, all of this is mentioned in Kemet. But you don't hear nobody talking about that, LeVar. No, they already have all these pointless debates that's not going to do nothing but keep us divided. All they want to do is sit around and have a powwow, just talk. Just run your mouth, not fixing anything. Just a bunch of feel-good preaching. Well, I'm not going to give you no feel-good preaching tonight. If it makes you feel good, it's because you love the truth. But I'm tired of these people trying to make Kemet out to be something that is not. They're romanticizing Kemet. They're lying to you about Kemet. That's why it's called this, what the conscious groups don't tell you. Because if they were telling you this, somebody would jump up LeVar sooner or later and they'll say, you know what? This sounds like some old Christianity. This sounds like the Hebrew Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And then you would be like, well, and then you'll say, well, why do y'all go in so hard on the Christians and the Hebrews and y'all make fun of them, and yet y'all represent Kemet, and the ancient Egyptians believe similar stuff. In fact, identical stuff. Because all of these guys are tipping Kemet off to y'all. Yeah, I said it. They're pimping Kemet. And what I mean by that is they're using Kemet to sell you something that's not even really Kemet. Yeah, they name themselves after the gods, or they name their organization after the gods. But when you get down to it, these people don't represent Kemet. The ancient Egyptians were a praying people. They were a very spiritual people. Do you see anybody in the conscious community praying to these gods? Do you see them giving thanks when they open up? Do you hear anybody saying, thank you, Allah and Ra, for giving us this day? That's what Christians do. That's what Hebrew Israelites do. They'll say, no, man, that's all milk. But that you represent Kemet. I'm confused, LeVar. You tell me to go back to Kemet. I go to Kemet. What do you give me? Oh, you're supposed to go by that. But what we're going to do, first we're going to go to 4th Maccabees. Why are we going to 4th Maccabees, sister and brother? Why such an odd place to start? Because I have to show my Hebrew and Christian brothers and sisters that the Bible tells you that God gave wisdom and morality to all of mankind. We have to know that. We have to understand that. I want y'all to understand that God did not just give Israel laws. And when I say that, I don't mean that God came to other nations and got on top of a mountain with a loud, booming voice of a trumpet and was giving out laws. I'm not saying that's how he did it. I'm saying from the moment that he created man, he put a law inside of him. That's what it actually says. You follow what I'm saying? He put a law inside of him, and every nation on the planet inherently knows this stuff, and they wrote tenets based off of that. There's no plagiarism going on. You know, they love to holler plagiarism. I don't holler plagiarism. I say God spoke to everybody in the past. I'm talking about before Israel was a nation. We sometimes forget that by the time Israel became a nation, the other nations were already a couple of thousand years old. What do y'all think they were doing all that time? Y'all think they were just running around in complete chaos like chickens with their heads cut off? No. They had law. They had order. The Egyptian civilization was already here when Abraham was on the scene. How do you know that? Because it said that Abraham went down to Egypt. You don't think Abraham went to the individual Mizraim. No, it said he went to the country of Egypt. You follow what I'm saying? He went to the land of Egypt, meaning that civilization was already up and running. That means they already had laws, statutes, and structure. That's what that means. And the Bible lets you see that. Why am I telling people this? Because our black Hebrew Israelites, you don't really run into this with Christians too much, LeVar. See, we're going to be putting out a lot of stuff tonight, y'all. But our black Hebrew Israelites seem to have a problem with the idea that God can give other people insight on right and wrong before Israel came on the scene. I often wonder what they believed was going on before Israel became a nation. You know, was everybody just killing each other and just stabbing each other up? No, that's not what was going on. You know, read about the code of Hammurabi that has similar tenets to the law of Moses, yet it predates the law of Moses. Does that mean Moses copied the code of Hammurabi? No. All of the nations had similar laws and tenets to Israel, sister, brother. That's what people don't understand. But if you ain't got no understanding on this, then somebody who represents Kemet will come and they'll show you a couple of things in ancient Kemet, prove to you that it predates your Bible, which it does, and they'll say, see, they copied that from us. And then you think, oh, you know, we some plagiarists. This whole book is just a big old giant plagiarism. No, it's not. The ancient Hebrews knew that God gave wisdom to everybody. And we're going to show you that right now. We're going to 4th Maccabees. Let me get that with you, LeVar. 4th Maccabees chapter 2. And we're going to read verses 21 to 23. People got to know this. 4th Maccabees chapter 2, 21 to 23. But first, just read verse 21. Just read that. Go ahead, please.
4th Maccabees chapter 2, verse 21. For at the time when God created man, he implanted within him his passions and moral nature.
Now look what this says. It says, for at the time when God created man, he implanted within him his passions and moral nature. This is the creation. This predates Israel. This predates Egypt. This is the creation. meaning that when God first created Adam and Eve, he implanted within him his passions, meaning his desires, his lust. The word lust is not always a bad word, by the way. It's the context. Lust just means desire. It says, and moral nature, meaning from the time that God created man, he put morality inside of him. But it goes even further. Read verse 22 and 23.
Verse 20. All right. Verse 22. And at that time, he enthroned above all the holy leader mind through the medium of the senses.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave a law to this mind by living according to which it will maintain a temperate and just and good and manly reign.
It says, and he gave a law to this mind. This is not the law of Moses. Though some of the things that you find in the law of Moses is in this law that he gave to this mind. It says, by living according to which it will maintain a temperate and just and good and manly reign. Temperate means self-control, sisters and brothers. God gave us morality from day one. And every person born thereafter inherently has this moral nature in them. You say, no, we don't, John. I say, yes, you do. Where? You ever heard of something called your conscience? You know, people say your conscience bothering you? Have you ever done something wrong before? And nobody told you it was wrong, but you just felt bad anyway. That moral nature that your God implanted in you. And he implanted it in all of mankind, not just black people. Because I know some people are like, well, you know, Adam was black, so, you know, he put it in Adam. But then they'll tell you that everybody came from Adam. So if everybody came from Adam, everybody has this moral nature implanted inside of them. That's what they have. And it says, he gave a law to this mind by living according to which it will maintain a temperate and just and good and manly reign. Again, LeVar, we have to emphasize this is before the law of Moses.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that whoever got this, if their civilization was up and running before the Israelites formed a civilization, they were already operating based on this moral nature that God implanted into mankind, which is why when you get to ancient Kemet, before there's a such thing as an Israelite, they already got similar tenets that you find in your Bible. That's why when you get to ancient Babylon, before you get to an Israelite, you already got tenets that you find in your Bible. We keep forgetting that Israel is a young nation. God intentionally did that. It was no mistake. We were a baby nation compared to the rest of the nations. We want to pretend like as Israelites, we want to pretend like, oh, Israel had everything first. No, we didn't. God has always been operating like that, where he takes the youngest among a family and put them ahead of everybody. He did it with David. He did it with Joseph.
Joseph, yep.
God does that. You follow what I'm saying? So we need to get over ourselves as Hebrew Israelites and start thinking that God just let everybody else run around like chickens with their head cut off. If that is the case, how can God justify punishing the other nations for their wickedness when he himself supposedly only spoke to Israel and never taught them right from wrong? It would be like one of us right now having a child and never teaching him the difference between right and wrong, but punishes him every time he messes up, and severely at that. That's not a God that you serve, sisters and brothers. God gave wisdom to Egypt as well. Y'all better understand that. Yep. We're going to show you that, but now let's go to Romans chapter 2. Because even in the New Testament, Paul knew this. The problem is this isn't being taught, and it's being misperceived by everybody. You got people who represent Kemet. See, the Ten Commandments came from Kemet. It did? Yeah. I can give you all of the 10 Commandments, all the Kemet. I can do it, except for the one about the idols. That was not a commandment in Kemet. They have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty much all the rest of them, yeah, I can give you all of them. But that does not mean that the 10 Commandments came from Kemet. They say, well, Moses, the Bible said that Moses was raised in all the wisdom of Kemet. He was educated in all the wisdom of Egypt. Yes, the Bible does say that. See? The Bible say that, but my same Bible says that the 10 Commandments didn't come from Kemet. But how you going to take me to my Bible to show me that Moses was educated in all the wisdom of Egypt, but don't want to believe that the 10 Commandments didn't come from Kemet? You can't have it both ways. Don't take me to my Bible and say, see, Moses was raised in Kemet. That's my Bible that says that. I don't deny that. And then when I tell you, yeah, but the 10 Commandments came from Mount Sinai. No, they came from Kemet. Well, whoa. See, now there you go again. You want to pick and choose what you want to believe in the Bible, and then you want to start getting real creative when it comes to stuff that's not in there. We can't be that way, sisters and brothers. We cannot be that way. But right now, let me get that with you, LeVar. We're going to, Romans chapter 2, and we're going to read verses 14 and 15. Romans 2, 14 and 15. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Romans 2 and 14. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are law to themselves.
Now, what does this mean? It says, for when the Gentiles, which have not the law, this is about the Torah that God gave to Moses to give to Israel. The Gentiles did not have the Torah. They had concepts of the Torah, but they did not have the Torah. God only gave that to Israel. Right? It says, for when the Gentiles, meaning the nations, which have not the law, do by nature, remember the moral nature, the things contained in the law, these having not the law, don't have the Torah, are a law unto themselves. It's like they created a law unto themselves. And you can find that if you go to any ancient civilization. Go to ancient Greece. Go to ancient Rome. Go to ancient China. Go to ancient Japan. All of these people had similar do's and don'ts concerning conduct that's in the Bible. And they were not copying each other. Everybody they got it all from Kemet. No, they didn't. How they going to get it all from Kemet? Kemet is on one side of the world. These people on their side of the world. These people over on this side of the world. How everybody get everything from Egypt? Why is everybody trying to make it seem like if you didn't get it from Egypt, you don't got it? Egypt was its own civilization. Period. Just like everybody else with their own civilization. And that's what's wrong with the conscious community. They want you to believe that black people are the progenitors of everything. I'm sorry, that just isn't true. We got people in the conscious community right now. I've heard them say it. Telling people that the ancient Egyptians had tanks and helicopters. But got beat by the Babylonians who only had horses and chariots. Are you kidding me? How stupid do you have to be as a civilization to have advanced weaponry like that and lose to somebody on a horse chucking a spear? That's stupid, sister, brother. It's time for us to get over ourselves and wake up from this nonsense. Do you really believe that if Russia decided to attack America right now with nothing but horses and chariots and bow and arrows and spears, do you really think if they said, this is how we're going to attack them, LeVar, do you really think they'd beat us?
No.
No way. Y'all like that wouldn't happen, but yes, y'all want us to believe that Egypt had all this advanced weapons of warfare, and somehow they lost to a nation that didn't have number horses and chariots. Why didn't you use an aerial assault? You follow what I'm saying? I just had to throw that out there because a lot of stupidity is going to get dispelled tonight, y'all. Because there's a lot of stupidity in the conscious community. That's just the way it is, you know. Wasn't no helicopters or no tanks in no ancient Egypt. I'm sorry. Stop misinterpreting those pictures. I don't see the glyphs before. They try to say that's a helicopter. No, that was not a helicopter. Sorry. And not everybody in the conscious community believe that. Some people know it's bull, and they even debunked it themselves. So don't call in saying, I ain't never taught that. Not everybody teaches it. Disclaimer, okay? Read the next verse, 15.
Verse 15, which show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness in their thoughts, the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another.
Now, look at what this said, LeVar. It says, which show the work of the law written in their heart. These Gentile nations, these foreign, non-Hebrew nations, show the work of the law written in their hearts. How is the law even written in their hearts to begin with? How is Torah law like things written in their heart if God never gave them the law? Because that's their moral nature that we read about in 4 Maccabees, chapter 2. And Paul was taking a look at these people because Paul was dealing with these people. And Paul could see that some of these people had the moral part of the Torah law correct. They didn't necessarily have the festivals and stuff, or not the dietary law, but they had the moral part right. And that's why Paul said, we show the work of the law written in their hearts. If it's in your heart, that means it's inside of you, right? Mm-hmm. Their conscience, their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another. In other words, because of this law written in their heart, this moral nature, they were able to accuse one another or excuse one another. Or plainly put, they were able to say what's right and what's wrong. This is in your Bible. Your Bible is telling you that the other nations had moral codes. That's all this is telling you. And Paul witnessed this when he was preaching to the Gentiles. He saw some morally upstanding Gentiles. They just didn't know anything about Jesus Christ. But a lot of these people were already morally straight. People say, the ancient Greeks, they were homosexual. They practiced homosexual, and they were pedophiles. Yes, they were. But I bet you didn't know that you can go into ancient Greek literature and find writings that speak against both of those things. So they knew. And it had nothing to do with no Torah law. It's the difference between knowing right from wrong and actually doing what's right versus doing what's wrong. That's the difference. The ancient Greeks, do the research. There are Greek philosophers and writers who spoke out openly against homosexuality in ancient Greece and against pedophilia. Look it up if you think I'm lying. So don't be going around telling everybody, all of the ancient Greeks were homosexuals and pedophiles. The ancient Egyptians knew it was wrong too. That don't mean they practice it though. Just because you know what's right don't mean you always do what's right, which is why God sent Jonah to Nineveh, LeVar. Ninevites were not Hebrew Israelites. What in the world was God punishing them for? They didn't know God's law. Remember, LeVar, a Hebrew Israelite will quote this to you in a minute. You only have I known of all the nations. Won't they quote that to you in a minute? Talking about Israelites. You only have I known. Therefore, I will punish you for your iniquity. They'll quote that to you in a minute. Take you straight to Amos. Take you to Psalms. He has not dealt so with any other nation, and as for their judgment, they don't know him. Okay, well, why in the world did God send Jonah to Nineveh? What was so special about Nineveh? If they never knew God or his law, and they just been sinning, just finally get mad and say, well, okay, it's time for you to punish them. Go tell them, Jonah, I'm finna get them. Some of y'all might say, well, he just got fed up. How can you get fed up? Either they know and they going against it anyway, or they don't know and they just sinning. Why would God get fed up? Because God knew, because he knows the hearts of men, LeVar. God knew that enough of the Ninevites knew what they were doing was wrong, and they did it anyway. They were ignoring their moral nature. And this is how your God, in the Old Testament, was punishing all of these foreign nations. Ask yourself, sisters and brothers, what justified God punishing these people if they didn't know his law? If they didn't know his law, the answer is simple. They did know his law. They didn't know the Torah, but they knew their moral nature. But Let's keep moving, because now we see that Paul and the book of Maccabees both testify that the other nations had moral nature. They had moral codes. You follow what I'm saying? What we're going to do now, we're going to get into this. Let's go to Matthew chapter 7. Let's deal straight with the man himself, Jesus Christ. I'm getting so tired of them saying, Jesus Christ, he was copied from Horus. That's a lie. But if you really believe he was and you represent Horus, then why don't you go into the ancient Egyptian literature, find out how Horus says you need to live, and live like that. If you really believe that, y'all don't really believe that stuff. A lot of people in the country community do not really believe in Kemet. Yeah, I said it. And I dare one of the big-time names to try to call in and say, you can't say that about me. I'm going to go right to the ancient Egyptian literature, and I'm going to ask them, do you do this? And y'all already know if they do or not, so they ain't going to be able to lie. And if they try to claim it, take me to the video. Y'all got videos all over the place. Take me to the video. I'll go on YouTube right now, pull it up on Debate Talk for You, put it up to my phone, and let everybody hear it. Y'all don't really represent Kemet. Y'all pimping Kemet.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten so bad that now you got people in the conscious community claiming they represent Kemet and saying they're atheists, when the ancient Egyptians believed in more gods than we can count.
Yeah.
What kind of sense do that even make? You cannot be an atheist and represent Kemet no more than I can be an atheist and represent Christianity. That's stupid. And Paul does it too. I'm a real black atheist. Okay, I'm not mad at your position of disbelief. I would never be mad at another man for believing or not believing something. That's his choice. But the ancient Egyptians were not atheists. So why are you claiming Kemet? You would never hear a Hebrew Israelite doing that. Can you imagine if Hebrew Israelites was born? We the Yahuwah squad. You know what I'm saying? We the connected of Jesus. I'm just using them as an example, those my brothers. We the connected of Jesus, but we don't believe in Jesus or God. But we connected to Jesus, though.
That's stupid.
That's stupid. Or my brother, Minister DeAndre. You know what I'm saying? He used the name Yahuwah. They'll be like him calling his ministry Yahuwah Ministry, and then telling everybody, but he don't believe in Yahuwah. He don't even believe he exists. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. And we're supposed to sit down and debate that?
Stupid.
Come on, y'all. No. Some stuff you just don't debate. It's just either you believe or you don't. You follow what I'm saying? Either you believe or you don't. That's not even debatable. If you want to represent Kemet, fine, represent Kemet. I'm going to show y'all tonight how to really represent Kemet. And it ain't got nothing to do with no black power. Now y'all know that now. Nothing to do with no black power. Get that off your head. That is a modern concept. So right now, we're going to Matthew chapter 7. It's Jesus Christ himself. We're going to read a very popular thing. They call it today the Golden Rule. In fact, this is one of the tenets that Martin Luther King marched under. Besides the misinterpretation of turn the other cheek, LeVar.
Mm-hmm.
But Martin Luther King marched under the Golden Rule. We're going to read where he got it from. That's why they call it the Golden Rule. Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. Read that, please.
Matthew 7 and 12, and it reads, therefore all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets.
That's amazing that Jesus described what we call today the Golden Rule as being the fulfillment of the law and the prophets. What this is saying is, if you practice this, that's the law and the prophets summed up. That's pretty powerful, ain't it, LeBron? He said, therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them, for this is the law and the prophets. In other words, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Yep. That's the Golden Rule, right? I don't hear nobody in the country community preaching this. They'll say, of course not. That's from the Bible. But what if I showed you this same thing in ancient Kemet? What if I showed you the golden rule in ancient Kemet thousands of years before Jesus said it? Do you still believe you ain't got to follow it? Because I don't see anybody in the conscious community doing to others as they would have them doing to you. In fact, it's cutthroat in the conscious community. They even admit it. It's vicious.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying? You got people shooting up Bibles. Okay, I understand you don't believe the Bible, but you got some books that you wrote or some books you add here too. Would you want somebody doing that to your literature, to your holy literature? You can disagree, but when you start doing stuff like that, that's just disrespectful. You do know you can disagree without being disrespectful, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got people going out and making bow and arrows and literally shooting up other books that people wrote. And in the conscious community, they're applauding that when you can just do a video and just say why you think this book is wrong. Or you can pull the brother to the side and be like, hey, man, this book you just came out with, let me talk to you about it because it got a lot of stuff wrong in it. No, you take a bow and arrow and you shooting that brother's book. Now, how are you going to ever try to reconcile something with him in the future when you disrespected him to that degree? When all you just had to say was, I don't believe what he wrote in the book, or let me put out a video or write a book of my own and respectfully show why I think he's wrong. Don't need all the cursing. Don't need all the insults. Why couldn't you just do that? But now, we're going to show you the same thing in ancient Kemet. But before I go there, I got to give you a background on the book that I'm reading out of. And if you are in the conscious community, you probably know about this book. But if you don't know about it, you need to get it. And on the Debate Talk for You, if you are a Christian or a Hebrew Israelite, get this book. It is a fantastic book. It is called the Hosea. That's what it's called. And it's spelled Hussia. It's actually called Selections from the Hosea, Sacred Wisdom of Ancient Egypt. Again, Selections from the Hosea, Sacred Wisdom of Ancient Egypt. And if you already got this book and you in the conscious community and you don't see the hypocrisy of the conscious community, then shame on you. Because if you got this book and you've been reading it, I know you got to see that they lying about a lot of stuff concerning Kemet. You got to see it. Now, the reason why I got to give y'all background on this book is because the guy who wrote it, you know what I'm saying, just got just a resume that's just fantastic. And the guy's name is Malana Corinda. It's not his birth name. His name he thinks that he adopted. Again, it's Malana Corinda. Let me just give y'all a little background on this book before we go in it. I'm trying to go in and speed through this. Look what it says. And this is a black guy, by the way, an African American. Why am I even pointing that out? Because the conscious community loves to embrace stuff written by black people. Well, this guy is a black man. It says, Dr. Malana Corinda is professor of black studies at California State University, Long Beach. So this guy's a professor. This is no pseudo-scholar. So let's see what else he got. He received his BA and MA in political science from UCLA, a PhD, that's a doctorate, y'all, in political science from United States International University, and a second PhD, that's 2 doctorates, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So this man got a bachelor, a master's, and 2 doctorates in social ethics from the University of Southern California. An activist scholar, he is chair of the organization US, National Association of Kuwaiti Organizations, and executive director of the Kuwaiti Institute of Pan-African Studies. Pan-African, so that word pan means all or everything. So that means this man specializes in everything dealing with Africa, like African studies. And look at this guy's credentials. This man actually got 2 PhDs. So he's not just calling himself doctor, like a lot of people in the conscious community do, even though they ain't earned a single doctorate. Don't get mad at me. You shouldn't call yourself a doctor if you're not a doctor. I don't walk around impersonating a police officer. I'm not a police officer. You follow what I'm saying? I don't pretend to be a fireman. You know, not like the fireman that Award talks about. You know, Award is a different kind of fireman. Award don't pretend to be a fireman, you know, with a red truck and a Dalmatian. Y'all know what he means. But he ain't impersonating the fireman like, no, man, I'm a real fireman. I put out fires for real, like literal fires. No, he ain't saying that. But you got people in the conscious community calling themselves doctor this and doctor that and don't got a doctorate. So look what else he says about this guy. It says, he is also creator of the Pan-African holiday, Kwanzaa, and author of numerous scholarly articles and books. And I got to tell y'all, sisters and brothers, I had no idea where Kwanzaa came from until I read about this guy. I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? And if you watch any TV shows, they forever making fun of the mysterious origin of Kwanzaa. They always do it like they don't even know what it's about. You know what I'm saying? It says, an author of numerous scholarly articles and books, including Introduction to Black Studies, Kwanzaa, a celebration of family, community, and culture, Kuwaita, communitarian African philosophy, Odu, Ether, the ethical teachings, selections from the Husia, that's the book we're going to be reading out of tonight, Sacred Wisdom of Ancient Egypt, and Ma'at, the moral ideal in ancient Egypt, a study in classical African ethics. So you can read the rest of this guy's stuff on your own. You can just Google him. It'll give you his information. Now, notice that this guy is real big on the moral and wisdom aspect of Egypt, as he should be. You follow what I'm saying? Now, let me say something that the Bible says. I got to show y'all one more thing. You know, I ain't going to delay y'all no more. Let me tell y'all what the Bible says about Egypt as far as their wisdom. Go to 1 Kings chapter 4 right quick for me, LeVar. And we're going to read verse 30. Because your Bible speaks highly of the wisdom of Egypt. In fact, Egypt was the gold standard. That was the bar. See, people don't know that. See, a lot of black Hebrew Israelites, they like to take a dump on Kemet. When I did my documentary, I didn't take a dump on Kemet. I just showed people what Kemet teaches. And I know a lot of people are against homosexuality who represent Kemet. But they deserve to know that part of the things that Kemet believed in was spirituality through homosexuality. That's not to say that all of Kemet was wrong and corrupt. They still had a lot of stuff right. So when people hear you attack Kemet, they automatically think that you got a problem with all of Kemet. No. That's the thing the brother who LeVar debated, named Amen, that's what he tried to put on me. See, Josh is here to tear down Kemet. I'm not here to tear down Kemet. Y'all the ones tearing down Kemet. The conscious community are the ones tearing down Kemet. How can you say that, Josh? Because they don't teach you the truth about Kemet. And a lot of stuff they teach goes against Kemet. But we ABC LeVar, we the bad guys, though.
You know it.
We the bad guys. They the ones attacking Kemet. I'm not walking around telling y'all to be atheists and believe in evolution when I know the ancestors didn't believe that.
Right, exactly.
I'm not the one telling y'all that. Why don't you go to ancient Kemet and see if they believed in creationism or were they evolutionists? And if they were creationists, why are you mad at me for telling you they're creationists and you're siding with the people who telling you to be an evolutionist? The conscious community are sick. The black people in the conscious community, these are sick people. And I ain't talking about physical sick, I'm talking about mental illness. Because these people will come to you, LeVar, and they'll say, we want Kemet. They'll even chant it. I've seen them chant it at the end of the debate. Kemet, Kemet, Kemet. And then the second you get them Kemet, the true Kemet, they hate you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sick people. It's a sick people who ask for something and then get mad when you give them exactly what they asked for. So this is 1 Kings 4:30. Read that, please, LeVar.
1 Kings 4:30. And it says, and Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country and all the wisdom of Egypt. Now,
ask yourself, LeVar, why would your Bible single out Egypt as something that Solomon surpassed? Why would it do that?
Because it recognized
the wisdom of Egypt. Egypt was known for its immense wisdom. If you read in Josephus, it tells you that Egypt in the ancient world was known as having more wisdom than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Think that's the truth. You know, until Solomon came on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people say, well, Solomon plagiarized a minimum. Did he plagiarize it? Because plagiarize means stole. Well, we can't say he stole, but he probably borrowed from a minimum. They'll say that. Well, if he did, Solomon himself wrote, if you instruct the wise man, he will become yet wiser.
That's it.
So that means that if he did copy a wise saying from a minimum, that makes him wise for doing it. Oh, in everything it tells you adopt the sayings of the wise. It tells you to adopt them. And if you really want to get deep and you go into history and see about how the great sages and masters and kings got together and they shared wisdom with each other. They came from afar and they chopped it up. No, they chopping it up. Mm-hmm. That's what they did back in the day. It was not no plagiarism. All of the great minds of the East would come together and they would share ideologies and they would build and then they would go back to their respective countries learning from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So if Solomon did borrow anything from Amenemhat, it wasn't because he was wicked or a plagiarist. It's because he understood that if you see a wise saying, you're supposed to adopt it. Duh! They weren't all anal about that stuff back then like y'all are now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You adopt somebody's saying, and, you got to give them a shout-out every time you use it. It wasn't petty like that. You know what I'm saying? But now we see that. So now we're going to go to the Hosea. Now let me show y'all this. Y'all got the credentials. We're going to go to page 66. And when we read this stuff, remember we read the golden rule. Remember that, LeVar?
Mm-hmm.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's the golden rule.
Yep. Right?
What we're going to do now is we're going to go to the book of Upshet-Hunki. Sometimes these Egyptian names, I tell you, man, I thought I was fed up when I saw these Hebrew Israelite names. But, boy, these Egyptian names, the way the transliterators just throw vowels and consonants next to each other, I just like, come on, man, y'all could have came up with a better way to pronounce that, for real. But this guy's name is Upshet-Hunki. That's his name, right? And the way the Hosea is set up in sections. So what we're reading now is section 5. Let's see if this sounds familiar, LeVar. Listen to this. Do not do to a person what you dislike, and thus cause another to do it to you also. What does that sound like to you?
What we read earlier?
That sounds like the golden rule. Whatsoever you have men do, so let me read again out the Bible. It says, therefore, all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. This is the Hosea. Do not do to a person what you dislike, and thus cause another to do it to you also. This is the same thing. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. Thousands of years before Jesus said it. So you didn't copy this from them. This is that moral nature and that wisdom that the ancient Egyptians always had, y'all. This is why God punished Egypt. Because Egypt, remember, to whom much is given, much is required.
That's right.
So Egypt had a lot of wisdom, but they got wicked. That's why God took them out. And you can even read in ancient Egyptian literature that it tells you that one of the reasons why the gods were punishing them is because they fell from the ways. Just like the Bible says. So right here in the Hosea, right, section 5, in the book of Upshet-Hunki, you see, do not do to a person what you dislike. Don't do something to somebody that you yourself would like done to you, and does cause another to do it to you also. But do you ever hear anybody, if you're listening, do y'all ever hear anybody in the conscious community preaching this morality? No, because if they did that, then you would see that a lot of stuff they're doing is not conducive of Kemet. These people in the conscious community who adopted Kemet, they thought this was giving them a license to sin. They say, we're going to put this Bible down, right? Woo, now we can wild out. We don't got to keep no law. We ain't got to keep no tenant. We can do whatever we want to do. That's why they wild out over there. That's why they vicious and cutthroat over there. They act like people who are lawless, don't they, LeVar?
Yep.
And they got you thinking that it's okay for you to be like that because now you're with Kemet. Nuh-uh. The ancient Egyptians had strict codes of conduct, sometimes even stricter than the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at another example. Let's go to Luke chapter 14, LeVar. Golden rule right there. And I know like a million people in the country community face came to mind when I read this golden rule out of Kemet. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's the law and the prophets. Last time I checked, I don't think you would want somebody to hold up a book that you hold dear or that you yourself wrote and shoot it up. You can say, well, I wouldn't care. Maybe you wouldn't, but you wouldn't appreciate the gesture behind the action. It's very disrespectful. That's why I would never do that to any book in the conscious community. I would never shoot a bow and arrow through another brother's written book. If I think the book is wrong, I'll just tell him I think the book is wrong or why I think it's wrong. But you pinning this man's book to a tree and shooting bow and arrow through it. But you wouldn't want nobody to do that to your book. You'll try to laugh it off, man, I don't care, whatever. But you see the disrespect behind it. Don't act like you don't see the gesture behind it. I don't care about nobody shooting up a Bible. I got my own Bible. He can shoot up my Bible. And even if he did, I just go buy another one.
That's right.
You know, it's simple as that. So it wasn't the shooting up the Bible, and he knows that. It was the disrespectful intent behind his action that he was deliberately trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it says in Kemet, don't do to another person that you yourself dislike. And I'm pretty sure if somebody had a book burning ceremony with all that brother's books and threw it on a giant pyre and was dancing around singing and stuff, he would feel a ways about that. He can't say that he wouldn't. Even if you didn't care, like, okay, whatever, you know, he didn't talk to me nothing, but you see the disrespect. And nobody likes to be disrespected. I don't care who you are, you don't like to be disrespected. Don't do to people what you don't want them to do to you. This is coming from Kemet. If you don't believe it in Matthew, don't then believe it in Kemet. So I'm going to get you wherever you go. You try to run from the Bible thinking, yeah, I ain't got to be respectful. I can be rude. I can fornicate. I can lie. I can be shady. No. I'm going to show you that God is everywhere you go. You can't escape him. You follow what I'm saying? Trying to run. That's what they thought about. They thought they were safe. We're going to run to Kemet. Incidentally, you can read in the Bible where the Hebrew Israelites actually thought they could run to Kemet too and be safe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Safe from the wrath of God that he sent by the other nations. But this is Matthew chapter 7. Luke. I'm tripping. Luke 14 and verse 7 and 7 and 8 that we're going to skip. Go ahead and read, please.
Luke chapter 14, verse 7. Let me get with you. All right. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden, when he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, saying unto them, when thou art hidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest the more honorable man than thou be bidden of him.
Now look at what Jesus Christ, they can't stand Jesus Christ. I even saw one brother in the conscious community. I ain't going to drop no names tonight, you know what I'm saying? But he just did a whole video not too long ago where he's just saying, he's just dropping an F-bomb on Jesus Christ, like F Jesus Christ, like every other sentence, right? Meaning, he ain't trying to hear nothing Jesus got to say because he's been programmed to believe that this is Eurocentric stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These tenets. And they try to say the white man gave us this stuff to enslave us and to keep us in check and to keep us in order. Well, if you really believe that, then if I go to Kemet and I'm reading the same tenets, then wouldn't that mean that the ancient Egyptians gave y'all this stuff to enslave y'all and keep y'all in order? Last time I checked, you don't want to be a slave to nobody no matter what color you is. Or could it be that the white man didn't give you this? And it don't matter who gave it to you. They're saying the same thing. But skip down and read verse 11. This is the point Jesus was trying to make about this.
Verse 11. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humble himself shall be exalted.
Now look what it says. It says that whosoever exalteth himself, let me turn the page, shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. And notice it started out, if you start from the beginning, it says, when you are bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, let a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him. So don't try to, take a real high feet and all of that stuff, and try to exalt yourself. That's what he's trying to, instill in you. In other words, if you try to exalt yourself, what's going to happen to you, LeVar? What does it say?
You're going to get low.
You're going to get low, right? Now, is this also in Kemet? Let's see. We're going to go to another writing. Let me make sure I got this one right. We're going to the book of PT.2. And these things right here that we're reading, these are basic tenets of Christianity. But yet in the conscious community, this type of stuff is despised. This type of stuff is despised. They'll tell you, you don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to abide by the tenets of Christianity. All this stuff we read in the Bible, these are all Christian values, right? You know what I'm saying? This is the stuff that they don't want to, they don't want to deal with. They try to come up with every kind of excuse to not deal with this stuff. Am I right, LeVar?
Yep.
And they try to make it seem like that if you subject yourself to this stuff, then somehow you're following the right man's religion or you're in some kind of slavery. And they even tell you, you're a slave. You're a slave. And I'm like, how am I a slave? You following that white man's book. Well, I don't see how it can enslave me unless I'm a slave to the tenets in it. And you say, yeah, but see, a lot of these people, they don't want to be morally straight anyway. Y'all know the stuff they doing over there. Y'all know what they how they getting down over there. Y'all know good well that a lot of these people are just wilding out. They are running through these females. They tell them stuff. They telling them stuff that they want to hear, and they just going buck wild over there. Y'all know that's what they doing, right? But we're going to read this and make sure I got the right thing here. This title, this is section 14. Look what it says right here. We're going to start from the beginning. This is section 14, page 46. Just in case anybody who's listening have this book, follow along with me. Look what it says. If you are a powerful person, that means you got some authority, gain respect through knowledge and gentleness of speech and conduct. Whoa, LeVar, we got to stop. Even though this ain't even related to what I'm going to show you what's similar. Do you see what it says? If you are a powerful person, gain respect through knowledge and gentleness of speech and conduct. Last time I checked, cursing somebody out ain't gentleness of speech.
Nope.
Or conduct. This is what the ancient ancestors believed. My Kemetic brothers and sisters, we're going to show you later on that gentleness is one of the fruit of the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know that we Christians believe we got to follow? Y'all try to look at us and think we soft because we tell you you're supposed to be gentle. Not weak. Gentle. You follow what I'm saying? It says gentleness of speech and conduct. We're going to come back to that. It says give commands only where necessary and fitting. Like if you're in a position of power. Those who abuse their authority provoke resistance. This is some good advice. If you abuse your authority, people going to rebel against you. And listen to this, what it says right here, though. And those who place themselves above others are brought low.
Mm-hmm.
Turn back the ball. Luke 14, read verse 11.
Luke 14 and 11. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted.
It said, whosoever exalted himself shall be abased. That means brought low. That's what abased means. That's what it says right here. And those who place themselves above others are brought low. It's saying that if you exalt yourself, you're going to be brought low. That's the same thing Jesus said.
Mm-hmm.
But if I go in the conscious community and I'm telling brothers, hey, you need to humble up or you're going to be brought low. You know what I'm saying? Most of them ain't trying to hear that. You hear people in the conscious community do tell people to humble themselves, but they mean just humble themselves to each other. But you're supposed to be humble, period. And you got people in the conscious community that do try to place themselves above others. I'm this. I'm that. I'm God. Oh, we going to tap into that tonight, too. Oh, by the way, country community, nobody in the country community is supposed to be calling themselves God. I'm going to show you that tonight, too. How about that? Oh, the God this, the God that. But that's the same thing Christianity tells us. Don't try to claim to be God. Tells you that. That's the first commandment. Thou shalt not have any other gods before me.
No gods before me. That's right.
But you got everybody over there calling each other God. Now, the black woman God over there. The black woman God, they God, and it ain't no God. So let me get something straight, LeVar. Let's make sure we understand this correctly. If I say that you are God, LeVar, and I say there is no real God, like the Bible God, then haven't I just put you in the position of God?
You sure did.
If I claim to be God and say there aren't any gods outside of me, then I just put myself in the position of God. I have claimed the authority of God. There's an ancient community. You're supposed to do that. If you go to the country community, everybody is God. How do they get away with it, LeVar? Because they ain't really teaching you Kemet.
No, and then they take upon themselves the names of the gods.
Then they take upon themselves the names of the gods, as if there are no Egyptian regular names.
Right, exactly.
They address themselves as the God. What's up, God? As if the ancient Egyptians did that. They didn't do that. In order for you to earn the title of God as an ancient Egyptian, you had to either be like one of their mystics in the mystery schools, like a priest, or you had to be the pharaoh, or you had to have a certain high-ranking position. Yep. And those positions were limited and exclusive, meaning that made up like 5 to 3% of the ancient Egyptian civilization, meaning the other 95 to 97% were just regular people. They were not walking back and forth calling each other God.
Or slaves.
Exactly, or they were slaves, you know what I'm saying? Why y'all getting it? We God. What's up, God? Look at the God. Look at the young God. No. I'm going to read that to y'all, too. Nope, you're supposed to be doing that. But they don't really represent Kemet. Like I said, Christian values. According to Christianity, we're not allowed to call ourselves God. Well, don't it say in your Bible, I have said ye are God? Get the context of that. Get the context of that. Go back and read in the law where the rulers in the law in Exodus, they were called God because one of the definitions of God means powers or authority.
Yep.
So the high-ranking officials in ancient Israel, they had the title of God, but not anywhere in the sense of what it means when it talks about the Most High God. Like everybody walking around, what's up, God? Look at the God. We God. The black woman God. How's she God? Show me in ancient Kemet where it says the black woman is God. Well, if you look at Isis, that's talking about Isis. Well, she's a black woman. Of course she's a black woman. She's a goddess that was created and depicted in the black culture. What color do you think they're going to paint her? White?
Right.
It is a common fact that all of the ancient civilizations, when they depicted their gods or goddesses in humanoid form, they made it look like the people of that area. Go to ancient China and look at some of their ancient gods. They got pictures of them. They look Chinese.
Yep.
That don't mean they believe that the Chinese woman was a goddess. They just believe that their goddesses look like a Chinese woman. Don't get confused. They weren't looking at Isis and seeing God, goddess in every black woman. They just said, oh, the food that they feed y'all is getting y'all draws, ladies.
There it is.
I'm putting it out there. That's all it is. Of course, if you disagree, call in and show me from ancient Kemet where every black woman or every woman in general was called a god. Or God.
Can't do it. Can't
be done. That ain't Kemet, y'all. And I'm going to show it to you. But look what it says right here, and those who place themselves above others are brought low. This was said thousands of years before Jesus said it. Jesus did not plagiarize this from them. Jesus did not get this from them when he went to Egypt, because he didn't need to stay in Egypt long enough to grow up and learn nothing. But let's move on. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 4. And then after we do this comparison, we can open up the phone. Y'all know I don't teach straight. I let people breathe. I let them vent a little bit after I don't talk a while. Let you get in. This is Ephesians chapter 4. They don't like this kind of stuff. Y'all got tenets too. Y'all make fun of Christians, Hebrew Israelites, and Muslims for having tenets and believing in a God. And you go to ancient Kemet, same thing. Wow.
Same thing.
Same commandment. I keep telling y'all, like I said at the beginning of this class, if these people really represented Kemet, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between them and a devout Christian. That's how they acted. You know, so you start asking them questions like, what's the name of your God and all that. But if you just thought the way they conduct themselves, they would be some humble, gentle, friendly people who don't want to hurt or embarrass anybody. That's how somebody who really represents Kemet is supposed to act. I don't know what the heck the country community is supposed to be. That ain't Kemet. That's garbage. Always debate. Don't you know it even tells in the ancient Kemet, stop debating. That's it not do. And when I say stop debating, I don't mean it's wrong to have debate. I mean, come on, I'm on debate talk to you. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about constantly bickering back and forth about the same thing.
Same thing with the same people.
There you go, Sal. Sal know what time it is. This is Ephesians chapter 4. Nothing wrong with debate. It's when you just be contentious. Some people just contentious. That means argumentative. They're not trying to debate to get to the bottom of anything. They just debate for the sake of debating. The Bible speaks against that. But the Bible also tells you that Paul was a debater. You got to know the difference between debating for edification versus just debating for strife. And I don't believe in it. That's why people say, oh, Josh running for me. No, because I don't debate for strife. That's the difference. I don't debate for strife. I'm not in this for me. The way I see it, LeVar, if we can't get them to control themselves from the Bible, we can at least show them that Kemet tells them to control themselves. Is there anything wrong with doing that?
Not at all.
This is Ephesians 4. Read this one verse, LeVar, verse 26. Read that, please.
Ephesians 4:26 reads, Be ye angry, and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
That's a one-liner. Be angry and sin not, LeVar, and don't let the sun go down upon your wrath. Y'all know, to the Hebrew Israelites, when the sun set, that means we will get into another day.
Mm-hmm.
So what this is saying is, if you get mad, be angry, because it's about somebody making you angry. Right? It said, be angry and don't sin, and don't let the sun go down upon your wrath, meaning when the next day comes, you don't supposed to still be mad. Let it go.
Right. Let it go.
What would you do if I told you a similar tenet almost worded the same way in the ancient Kemet, LeVar?
Wouldn't surprise me, because the Most High gave all this wisdom to mankind when he created them.
Let's go to the book of PT.2 again. This is section 16, page 46 again. You know, but they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm trying to reason with these people. Look, man, the way y'all acting, the way y'all treat each other, man, come on. Oh, you just an old Christian. You a slave. You on that white man stuff. But, dude, this stuff is in Kemet. I'm not trying to convert you from the Bible. I'm showing you the culture that you represent, what it says. Wouldn't that make you a hypocrite if you claim to represent this culture but you don't live by any of its tenets? That makes you a hypocrite. And you can look up these books on Reading All Of, and a lot of them appear in another book. You can get another book called The Literature of Ancient Egypt. And it's by William Kelly Simpson and Raymond Oliver Faulkner. Look for those two authors' names. And I have volume 1 and volume 3 of those books. And some of these same books, the same wisdom literature that you read in the Hosea appears there. It reads a little differently because it was translated by somebody else, by other people, but it's still saying the same thing. Now, we just read where it says in Ephesians, it says, be ye angry and sin not, let not the sun go down upon your wrath. In other words, don't let another day come and you feel mad about something that happened the other day. Look what it says right here in the Hosea, right? The book of PT.2, section 16, page 46. Look at this, LeVar. It says, if you are angered by a wrong done you by another, lean not toward remembering it. Don't mean let it go.
Let it go.
But look what else it says. Don't lean toward that, but toward righteousness. Pass over it quickly. and do not hold it in your heart after the first day it happens. That sounds like don't let the sun go down upon your wrath.
That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it says. And do not hold it in your heart after the first day it happens, meaning by the next day you're supposed to be over it. That's the same thing Paul said, don't let the sun go down upon your wrath. The ancient Hebrews believed that sunset started another day. So by the time sunset comes, you are over what happened the previous day. This is the same thing. It says if you are angered by a wrong done you by another, and I just got to be honest, it actually reads better here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot clearer here. That's just the truth. Same understanding, it's a lot clearer here. The Bible said the Egyptians were wise. If you are angered by a wrong done you by another, lean not toward remembering it, but toward righteousness. Pass over it quickly, and do not hold it in your heart after the first day it happens. Thousands of years said before Paul said it. Y'all keep saying that the Bible plagiarized ancient Kemet. It has similar tenets. But if you actually believe that, why don't y'all act like Christians? Because according to Christianity, I have to obey this. The same stuff I'm reading in Kemet, I have to obey it because it appears in my Bible. But do you see people letting stuff go in the conscious community? After the first day it happens? No, you got folks attacking each other, going back, they mad, they cursing each other out, and it's weeks, months, sometimes years.
Heck yeah, definitely.
Ain't nobody letting nothing go, and if they do, it's only temporarily, and then they're beefing with somebody else. Pass over it quickly, and do not hold it in your heart after the first day it happens. That means by the time you get to day 2, all is forgiven, all is forgotten. It's another one in the scripture, because it said when you hold it in your heart, right? That's funny how it says hold it in your heart. Isn't it, LeVar? Hold it in your heart. What's another thing for holding something in your heart? What do we call that when you're holding something? What do we call that?
We call it many
G,
things.
you know?
The first thing, you're carrying a grudge.
Exactly. Now, before we go to the phone, James chapter 5, verse 9. See? Christian values in ancient Kemet. Do they hold grudges in the conscious community? I don't even got to ask that question. Y'all know. I ain't got to answer that. Y'all know. James 5, 1 verse, verse 9. Read that, please.
James 5 and verse 9. Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge stands before the door.
Look what it says. Grudge not one against another. When you grudge against somebody, that means you are holding on to something they did that made you angry, that made you mad. So what this is saying is, don't hold a grudge. It's a lot of grudges in the conscious community, y'all. Every time you turn around, somebody making a video towards somebody else, strictly out of a grudge. Going back and forth. Making videos where they're cursing each other out. What happened to gentleness of speech and conduct? What happened to that? That's in Kemet. See, they've been playing y'all all this time. They've been tricking y'all into thinking that by coming to Kemet, you get to just be a fool. You get to wild out. I don't want to hear about no fruit of the spirit being meek. That's that old white man stuff. That's that white man's vibe. I guess they're going to start calling this stuff the white man stuff too, LeVar. They're going to have to. Because it's the same thing I'm finding in Kemet. These are Christian values. This is the basic stuff, and y'all ain't got that right. I can't walk into the conscious community with a Bible open and try to convict y'all with the Bible. But if y'all say y'all represent Kemet, and I'm showing you that this is what the ancestors believed and taught, then why don't you do that? That's what I want to know. Why don't you do that? Go ahead, LeVar.
Can I add? See, here's the thing. The ancient commissions believed in moral accountability because they believed in a judge in the afterlife. These people are selling y'all a lie that there's no God and all this other stuff. So there's no moral accountability. So that's why you think you can run amok when you put the Bible down and go to Kemet. You think you ain't got to obey nothing because you don't believe in no God no more. That's why.
Exactly.
No accountability.
Exactly. And these people, they try to play these games and try to make it seem like, oh, we crazy because we're still trying to walk upright. And like I said, it's not everybody in the conscious community, but it's the vast majority of them, especially the bigger names. Cursing people out, running up on people, arguing. Oh, it says you don't do that either. That's in there too. But now, Sal, for now, let's go ahead and go to the phone. Let's hear from the people.
All right, once again, this is Debate Talk for you. Today's show is entitled, for those that's joined in, Christian Values in Ancient Egypt, What the Conscious Groups Don't Tell You. My special guest is Brother Josh from Absolute Bible Truth. You know that number, 319-527-6239. Again, that's 319-527-6239. We're going to the phone lines right about now. And for the newer callers, there's no foul language. When you're calling, you got to keep it clean and keep it professional. So let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to 716-563. You're live in air. Can you hear me? 716. Going once. Going twice. All right, we got to go to the next person. Sorry about that. Let's go to 323-232. You're live in air.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, shalom, Sal. It's Amayan.
Hey, Amayan, how you feeling, my brother? Shalom.
Doing good. My comment that I have is I like to give respect to the brother Josh first and foremost. That the brother is definitely standing strong for the Most High in Christ, for the truth, for the Bible. I love the brother's spirit. How he's bringing it, you know what I'm saying? I would say continue what you're doing, brother. Stand strong for the Most High in Christ. My only disagreement with brother Josh is when he said that the Most High gave His laws to the other nations.
I didn't say that.
You didn't say that?
I said the morality and some of the concepts found in Torah law was inherently given to the other nations through the inheritance of the first man He put that in. Didn't say that, bro. I said God gave His law to Israel. I even quoted the scripture. You only have I known of all the nations. Did you hear me say that? Therefore I will punish you for your iniquity. Did you hear me say that? Did you hear me say it, LeVar?
No, sir.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you say that. I heard you say that He gave the laws to the other nations. You didn't say
no,
that?
I said I said you only. I said the Hebrew Israelites are quick to take you to Amos to point out that God gave His laws only to Israel. And I even quoted it to show you that I understand that. What I said, first of all, let's just cut to the chase. Were you listening from the beginning?
Yes. I didn't catch everything, brother. Let's go to short. If you didn't say, let's just squash it. Remember, I heard you wrong. I apologize, brother. Let's not go with something that you didn't say.
But I want you to understand what I did say, though. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. What I did say was God implanted a moral nature in all of mankind from creation. From the time He created Adam, their moral nature passed on to everybody. We call it your conscience. Like, I can ask you right now, before you even, I don't know if you were raised in the truth, but I'm pretty sure that even if you weren't, you've done something before that somebody didn't have to tell you it was wrong. You just felt it was wrong. Has that ever happened to you before? Conscious? Like you felt bad about something. Nobody had to tell you you should feel bad. You did something to somebody, you thought about it, you reflected on it, and you felt bad about it. You felt guilty. You felt guilty before, haven't you? Okay,
yes.
We call it your conscience. The Bible calls it your moral nature. And God gave all of mankind that. And before Israel was a nation, these people took this concept, this moral nature, and they built laws based on that moral nature. That's why Paul said in Romans chapter 2, verses 14 to 15, is that they that didn't have the law, like I said, they didn't get the Torah. It says they had a law unto themselves with the law written on their heart. They showed the works of the law. In other words, they were doing moral things found in Torah law, even though Torah was not given to that nation. So how were they doing things found in Torah law if Torah was not given to that nation? Because of that moral nature that we have in us, it's not going to teach you about the Shabbat. It ain't going to teach you about not eating pork, but it will teach you some moral stuff that you just automatically know. Like, you can learn through trial and error that you're supposed to steal. You know what I'm saying? Or that you're supposed to murder. That stuff you can just pick up through trial and error. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was talking about, brother.
Okay, well, brother, I have one question for you then, as far as understanding concerned. If man already had a moral nature given to them from God, are there moral laws in God's law that He gave to Israel?
Yes, that He expounded on. There are some moral laws. No, I'm not saying some moral laws. Like, all moral laws don't come naturally either. You follow what I'm saying? Like, for instance, incest is a moral law, right? But there are some nations that don't see anything wrong with incest. It ain't people waking up saying it's wrong to sleep with my sister. We know that over here because of the society we're in, but if you were raised in another society, you would not instinctively know that it's wrong to sleep with your sister. You would not instinctively know that. That has to be taught. You follow what I'm saying? And these are some of the moral laws that God gave to Israel that the other nations were breaking. You follow what I'm saying? So not even all the moral laws are instinctive. I'm talking about like basic moral laws. And I got a whole lesson on that when we can get deeper into that. But even if you read your Bible, it tells you remember the story of Abraham, Sarah, and Abimelech. You remember that? And
yes.
Abraham lied and said that to tell him that Sarah was his sister. Well, a half lie because she was his sister, right? And when Abimelech found out, God was going to kill him. And Abimelech said, I didn't know. And in the integrity of my heart and the innocency of my heart did I do this, right? This was not an Israelite. But he even told Abraham that if I would have known that this was your wife, I would not have tried to take her to be my wife. So they had a concept in Abimelech's land of thou shalt not commit adultery. You follow what I'm saying? Torah law hadn't even been invented yet. So how does this man know about thou shalt not commit adultery? And he was not an Israelite. Israelites weren't even born yet. So how did this man know about thou shalt not commit adultery? So you got to pay attention to little stuff like that when your Bible is telling you that there was a moral code before Israel came on the scene. That's how God sent Jonah to condemn the Ninevites. They were not Israelites. God was punishing them for their wickedness. It's kind of strange that God would punish an entire nation for their wickedness if He never revealed or taught them the difference between right and wrong. So we can get deeper with it, brother, but, you know, if other people want to listen, but if you got another question, you can ask another question before you get off.
Oh, no, that's it, brother. I got it. I'm clear.
Praise God, but, you know, don't be a stranger, you know, so I appreciate that, you know.
Okay, brother.
All right, let's go to the next caller. Let's go to 845-587. You're live in the air. 845-587. Can you hear me? 845. All right, going once. 845-587. Going twice. All right, gotta move on. 314-372. You're live in the air. 314-372. Are you there? Can you hear me? 314. We have technical difficulties tonight. Let's go to the next caller. Let's go to 315-530. You're live on the air. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Oh, hey, I didn't even know I pressed one. This is Ben Trey. Yeah, I'm definitely listening in. Very interesting class. So, yeah, I'm just going to stay tuned in. Good job, Brother Josh.
Praise God, Ben Trey, son of Trey. That ain't really what he named
right.
y'all. I just be messing with him.
All right, let's go to 716-563. You're live in the air.
Hey, yo, peace. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. What's going on?
Hey, what's good, man? It's your brothers at Akban Israel. What's good with you, Sal?
Hey, what up, Zay? What's going on? The God Hop MC. What's happening, brother?
Maintaining, sustaining, and not complaining. My name's Akban Israel, man, and I just got a question for Josh. What's buzzing, cousin?
What's up with your Zaydocalip?
Oh, hey, bro. Hey, I'm chilling, man. I just love tonight's presentation because it was very sound and it was very well executed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everyone know how Josh get. Josh, he like to raise a lot of questions, but when he read that information, it's almost like, okay, so is anyone going to call in and refute it? I doubt it. So what I do want to say is this. I think that the idea of man himself being made with a morality, and even if the Jasher book is correct, the things that are spoken about in there briefly about how Noah and on this side, post-flood, Noah, Ham, Shem, Japheth, the power and the influence that they had, if I'm not mistaken, it actually says that it actually talks about how around the time that Jacob was born was around the time that Noah actually died. So these patriarchs, because if we believe text, it says that Noah lived for 300 years on this side of the flood, correct? So if that's the case, his influence over not only Abraham, that is claimed that Abraham sat under him for most of his young life and learned, but the influence of Shem, the influence of Ham on descendants, including Nimrod, including Mitzrayim, including Philistim, Caphtor, Put, Lud, all his grandchildren. I think that sometimes we underestimate their influence and their teaching of some of the mysteries of the pre-world. You had 8 individuals, 4 women included, who saw the civilization on the other side. And there are things to this day that science, these Kemetics, these Israelites, whoever, are not willing to sit down and learn. What is we so concentrated on being separate because we think we intelligent that we don't want to sit up and say, what is the truth of our collective history? Because the human story, the story of man is one story. And I think that tonight you sparked some things that I think will hopefully cause the wise to search more. And the last thing I want to say is I seen that gentleman who they call Polite. I saw him on one of those outside discussions from probably about 2 years ago, where he was trying to describe, it was some Israelite dudes who he was out there having a fiasco with, and he briefly described to them the anthropomorphized context of the deities of ancient Kemet.
I saw that video when you talked to a dude with dreadlocks.
Yeah, okay. But what was interesting was this. Now, what you pointed out tonight, the morality comes from the nature that the Most High has put in all of us. But the Most High says something in Romans that because Paul was the apostle to the Gentiles and he was writing to the nations and not just Jews specifically, a lot of times Hebrews would make it seem as if when they talked about who having the knowledge of God, they didn't like to retain them in their knowledge, but they basically turned their backs on that, and they basically started to worship the creature more than the creator. And because of that, God started to let the results of that choice fester. And that's where what you what you beautifully pointed out in your most recent DVD about how through homosexual acts, they didn't look at it how we do today through some homosexual acts, especially among the elite. This was a way of actually expressing some divine ideals and concepts. Yo, bro, it's crazy. And so I just want cats to know, Brother Josh is on to something, been on to something for a minute. We here at the Knesset is on to something too. And if anyone want that work, they can get that work. That's all I want to say. You did a great job, bro. And LeVar, you ain't say too much, man, but peace to you, King.
Peace, bro.
I believe we have like one more caller standing by, and after that, we're going to go, pretty much further into the lesson. Again, the number is 319-527-6239. Let's go to the next person, 314-680. You're live in there.
What's going on, Sal Showtime, and my main man, LeVar, and my brother Josh. What's going on? This G Consciousness, man, LeRon Campbell.
Oh, man.
What's up, LeRon?
What's up with you brothers, man? How you brothers doing, man? Yeah, man, great lesson, man. I've been listening to you, man. That brother that called in, man, before Zadok ben Israel, was he Hebrew Israelite, or was he what was he? Was he a Kemetic?
I don't know. His name kind of threw me off. It sounded Kemetic, but the way he was talking, it sounded like a Hebrew Israelite. So I was just kind of just like, I was at a loss. So I don't know.
Yeah, because when you dealing with the biblical theology, it is clear when you read Genesis that the knowledge of good and evil was definitely something that's there. And when we talk about the administration that's given to these people, and when they come leave a state of God consciousness unto a state of being self-consciousness, they have a light within them to explain their actions. So when they do something, they do something contrary to what God has instructed them to do, then it's clear that they are aware of it. You know what I'm saying? So if they are aware of it, then you read the perfect scriptures tonight. If y'all can't get it off of that one, I mean, the brother went to Romans and showed you clearly, and so then if we see that the universal law and government law is actually built off of the self-conscious mechanism, or just the knowledge of good and evil. So that's what we call objective and subjective morality. We really call it objective morality, because you write written laws. Like right now, as I stated, I'm driving, the speed limit is 55. Now, on the contrary, if it wasn't written, a person will use what they call their moral stance, or what they feel to be a judgment or a mechanism within them. But if they don't follow that mechanism, we have this written law to measure their conscience, because you can sear your conscience with a hot iron, Paul said. You can have a corrupt conscience. And so, I mean, the scriptures is definitely clear, brother. You broke it down tonight. Universal law is definitely there. Matter of fact, when you read Romans 1, it's clear that these people know what's actually going on. They've been deceitful out here. You know what I'm saying? So they know what's going on.
As Zadok pointed out. That's one talk about Israelites when they talk about turning the creature into the worship the creature more than the creator. And it says God has shown it unto them.
Yeah. And so, and then they talk about from the creation, and then look, the same laws that they got in Kemet, so is above, so is below, we see that in the Bible, in Romans, what does it say? It says we understand the things that are unseen by the things that are clearly seen. So we understand when they was in Egypt talking about dualism or duality, because they understood the principles of so is above, so below. They understood those principles. The same principles that we see that are in effect right now as far as good and evil, these things also exist outside of the body. And they understood that. So when these brothers, I can't believe that these brothers even call in like they don't even see that. I mean, that was clear what you put out tonight. Great job, brother. Great job, LeVar, man, ABT, man. Zadok ben Israel, man. I listen to you brothers. You brothers are inspiration to me, man. I definitely, and the secret gay agenda among the conscious Kemetic community, on point, brother. I'm still continuing looking at it over and over again. I can't wait, brother, till you come on the show, man, to actually expound some more on it and bring some more stuff out about it, bro. Good job, man.
Praise God, G consciousness, G to the consciousness.
All right, Josh, we got some more people lined up. You want to have them stand by, or you want to take them more questions? We have matter of fact, we have
let's take like 2 more of them. Let's do it. I like to try to clear the switchboard if I can. All
right, let's get 2 more. Let's go to 786-312. You're live on air. 786, you're live on air.
Hello? Hello?
How you doing? You're live on air. How are you?
Oh, peace. Peace, family. Peace. All right. I didn't catch everything, but you was dropping some powerful knowledge, brother. As far as dealing with the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you go into the actual meanings of the words and stuff like that, right? What exactly do you get that information from, so I can look at it like for myself?
What do you mean to the actual meaning? Like look up like the Hebrew and the Greek words, or is that what you mean?
Yeah, the Hebrew and Greek words. Because normally I go into the Strongs, and they got a couple sites for that, like Bible Hub or Blue Letter Bible.
Right, that's what I use.
Do you go into that also?
eSword. I use eSword and the Blue Letter Bible. You know what I'm saying? And the Blue Letter Bible is actually the best one, and let me tell you why. Because if you look up a word in the Blue Letter Bible, it does it just like the Strong's, but it also tells you that Hebrew word or Greek word being used and translated as another word in the Bible. So now you know that you see two different. So now you see two different Hebrew words. Like, for instance, say if you look up the word, I'll give you a perfect example. This is an easy one. If you look up the word giant in the Bible, it's usually 2 words that it's translated from. It's Nephal and it's Gibor, right? And there's another one that's Rapha, 3 words, right? Now, if you go in your Bible, in your King James, sometimes they translate it, and you see giant. And then sometimes they say Rapha or Rapham. That's the plural of it, Rapham, right? But if you go to your Blue Letter Bible, it'll tell you those are the same words. So you can't figure that out as easily unless you got the Blue Letter Bible, because if you look up the word giant in the Blue Letter Bible, it's going to give you whatever Hebrew word is behind that particular verse you looked up, and it's going to show you everywhere that Hebrew word appears, even if it doesn't appear translated as giant. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's
how far do y'all go in? How far do you go into the root words though? Because it also has
as far as it goes. Like sometimes it has a root word, and it has another root word, and it has another root word, then it says primitive root. Once you get to primitive root, that means you can't go any further than that.
All right, is Lord and God, right? Mm-hmm. Is it like the same thing? Because when I go into Lord, I might see
sometimes
Yahshua or Yahweh.
Sometimes
when I go into God,
it all depends on how it's printed in the King James. If you see capital L, capital O, capital R, and capital D, but you notice that even though the O-R-D is capitalized, but it's smaller, 99.9% of the time, that is the Tetragrammaton, or what we know today as, some people say Yahweh, some people say Yahuwah, right? Then
that's when you go into Lord. When you go into Lord, it gives you that.
Capital L-O-R-D, right? If you see capital L, lowercase o, lowercase r, lowercase d, there might be Adonai or Adonai or Adon. Same thing with the word Yah. Like I think like 2 times in the Bible, Yah is translated into the Bible, Lord, capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D. And then sometimes you see the word God, if it gets G-O-D, it's going to either be Elohim, some people say Elohim, or it's going to be just L. But if you see capital G, capital O, capital D, but the O and the D are in smaller print, still capitalized, sometimes that's the Tetragrammaton. So just be on the lookout for how it's printed in your Bible. That's a giveaway of what it is.
All right, I'm going based off the beginning of the Bible because all the numbers is the same. When you go to the strong coordinates, all the numbers are the same, right?
Most of them.
So
when it's this, most of them.
When you're dealing with the beginning of the Bible and the creation of the world and the creation of man, it's all the strong. It's the same Strong's number. right? And it brings you to Elohim. When you go into the root of Elohim, it brings you to El, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go far enough, it'll bring you to the Ram. And we know dealing with the Phoenician language, well, anytime that the bull is put dealing with the writing language, when you go into the bull is a symbolization of strength.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, right?
That's an idiom. Yes, it's called an idiom, where a picture is used to represent a symbol of something.
Okay, so now if God is El, and it brings you down to Elohim, well, if God goes to Elohim and it brings you down to El, and if you go far enough, it brings you to the Ram, meaning strength, Almighty, blase squaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't El an actual? I'm making a statement, but I'm looking for an answer at the same time.
Okay.
Isn't El a deity of the Canaanite religion?
True. Yes.
So El isn't just a title; it has an actual image for the people who worship the God.
The Phoenician language and the Hebrew language are very similar, and you probably looked this up and seen this for yourself. You know about the symbol of the ram and the Phoenician language, and you've had to see the chart with the Paleo-Hebrew right next to it. So they had a similar language. So when you say El or Elohim to the Hebrew Israelites, that's a title signifying strength and might and power, while to the Canaanites, similar word, same word, is more of a proper name for them. But we're not talking about the same deity no more than when I say God in English, and I say God in English referring to an Egyptian God, am I talking about the same God? These are just words that's used to describe the divinity or the might of a being. Like if you had a Bible translated into the Egyptian language or the Meta, they would more than likely refer to God as Neter or Neter, and in the plural, Neteru, or God. You follow what I'm saying? That doesn't mean they think that the God of the Bible is the same as an Egyptian God, even though that same word, Neter or Neter, is used for that. So we get confused off of stuff like that, but all you got to do is look at the context. When the Hebrew Israelites say El or Elohim, they ain't thinking about the Canaanite God. In fact, the Bible speaks against the Canaanite God. You follow what I'm saying? So it's the context. And I'm like, well, they said El, so that means they worship the Canaanite deity El. No, that's not how the ancients looked at it, and that's not how it worked. You follow what I'm saying? Just like in the Greek, theos or theos. That's the Greek word for God. That's the Greek word translated God from the Greek, right? But that same theos or theos is also used to describe the Greek God. So how do we know when we say theos or theos which one we're talking about? It's the context. So don't get thrown off by words. You got to look at the context. Now, of course, there are proper names that specifically refer to deities. But I'm not talking about proper names. I'm talking about titles that represent strength and might and power like that. But we'll have to get into that another time. That's a real lengthy question. I got a class on that, too, by the way, on Debate Talk for you. Yes, sir?
Yeah, I'm back on. We only have like about 1 minute and 18 seconds on the air, people. So what that means, if you're on social media, you're listening to the show, you're going to have to call in and hear the rest of the show live. The number once again is 319-527-6239. Other than that, you can just check out the archives later on. But you're going to have to call in and hear the rest of the show live. You can go ahead, Josh.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's everybody. Okay, LeBron, let's jump back into this. I know a lot of people are eager to see where else we can go with this. Let's go to James chapter 2. All right. And I'm going to show you something else. This is another Christian concept. You know what I'm saying? It's a Christian value. And I'm just trying to get the Kemetic Conscious group to see, y'all, that you didn't get a pass when you put the Bible down. Because that's what they seem to think. These guys are not acting like Christians. Well, we don't supposed to act like Christians. Well, actually, you do. Because the way we are commanded to behave as Christians, as Messianic Hebrew Israelites. I know some Messianic Hebrew Israelites don't like that term Christian. Don't really make no difference to me. But if you don't like it, Messianic Hebrew Israelites. This is how we are commanded to act. And if I'm finding similar tenets from the wisest men in Egypt telling us to act the same way, then somebody ain't really representing Kemet. Somebody has taken Kemet and transformed it into some watered-down, bootleg, New Age version of itself. Because this isn't Kemet. Shooting up Bibles and talking about the white man is the devil and that he doesn't, he's not human and all that stuff. That's not Kemet. That ain't what the ancient Egyptians believe. I'm going to read that to y'all. It's going to surprise y'all, too. But now we're going to go in the Bible. And again, this is the Bible. This is a Christian value. James 2, LeVar, give me verses 1 to 3, please.
James 2, verse 1. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with respect to persons.
He's telling us this. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with respect of persons. That means if you say you have faith in Jesus Christ or Yeshua HaMashiach or Yahushua, whatever name you want to use, you know who I'm talking about. If you say you have faith in him, you're not supposed to have it with respect to persons. That means you're not supposed to have it with partiality. You're not supposed to have it with favoritism, prejudice, biasness. You're not supposed to do that. You follow what I'm saying? You're not supposed to do that. So you're supposed to be fair and you're supposed to judge righteously. But he's going to give you an example. Read, please.
Verse 2. For if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring and goodly apparel, and there come in also a poor man in vile raiment, and ye have respect to him that weareth the gay clothing, and say unto him, sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand thou there, or sit here under my footstool. Are ye not then partial in yourselves, and are become judges of evil thoughts?
Now, look what he's saying. That's good. I'm glad you stopped at verse 4, because that's what I meant for you to saying that. Sorry, stop there. I know I said 3, but I'm glad you went ahead and read 4. Now, let me break this down. It says, for if there cometh to you, he gives you an example. If there comes to you, your assembly, a man with a gold ring in goodly apparel, that means some nice clothes, and there comes in also a poor man in vile raiment. You know, he wears some raggedy clothes, right? And ye have respect to him that wears the gay clothing. Keep in mind, sisters and brothers, I know a lot of y'all know this, but I say it anyway. Gay back then did not mean homosexual. No. It just meant like festive or good. You follow what I'm saying? Even though today, some people wear some gay clothing, and I mean homosexual when I say it. You follow what I'm saying? But it ain't what it means right here. You know what I'm saying? But I had to throw that out there because some people don't know the Bible. They're like, gay clothing? What the word? No, it don't mean that. Just like the word faggot did not always mean homosexual. You follow what I'm saying? But that's another lesson. You know what I'm saying? And then it says right here, it says, and you have respect to him that wear the gay clothing, and say unto him, sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand thou there, or sit here under my footstool. Are ye not being partial in yourselves, and or become judges of evil thoughts? In other words, he's asking you, haven't you become a respectable person? Haven't you become prejudiced? Haven't you become biased? But notice the example that he gave, LeVar. He used good clothes and bad clothes, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Now watch. We're going to go again to the Hosea. We're going to the book of Amenemot, section 11, page 62. And this reads so similar, LeVar, it's almost scary. Listen to this. And it's talking about judging righteously, too. Look what it says. Do not confuse a person in the court of law, nor mistreat the righteous. Okay, look what it says right here. Do not give consideration to those in clean clothes, and reject those who appear in rags. Huh? What does that sound like we just read?
James chapter 2.
That sounds like James chapter 2. About you having respect to somebody who got on good clothes and rejecting the people that have bad clothes. And this is talking about in the context of judgment. That's why I'm talking about in the court of law. Look what it says right here. Accept not the gift of the strong man, nor oppress the weak for him. Justice is a great gift of God, and God gives it to whom God wills. Surely the strength of one who is like God saves the wretched from their oppressor. If I didn't know better, I would think I was reading the Bible.
Yes, sir. I was thinking the same thing.
I would think I'm reading the Bible. It says, do not give consideration to those in clean clothes and reject those who appear in rags. That's exactly what James just said. Only difference is James said it a couple of thousand years later. So you can't be like, well, they got this from the Bible. And you can't be like, the Bible got this from Kemet. This is that wisdom. God gave all the nations. It's that universal wisdom. But my whole point is, we're not supposed to be doing this to people. But if I try to read this to somebody in the conscious community, LeVar, from James chapter 2, they're like, I got all out that Bible. That's that white man's book. You trying to oppress me. Well, the same thing in Kemet. So what excuse you going to come up with now? Right? But notice it else it says, do not accept, it says, accept not the gift of the strong man. I got to take down. See, the growth is going to be about Christian values. Now I got to go to it on them. They making me do it, LeVar. They making me do it.
You got to do it.
Let's go to let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's see where we're gonna go this at. Okay, this is Deuteronomy 16, LeVar. Read verse 19.
Deuteronomy 16, verse 19. Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift does blind eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous.
This is Torah law. It said, thou shalt not wrest judgment. That means twist judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons. That means show favoritism. Neither take a gift. You go right back to the Hosea. Do not confuse a person in the court of law, nor mistreat the righteous. Do not give consideration to those in clean clothes and reject those who appear in rags. Accept not the gift of the strong man, nor oppress the weak for him. It said, accept the gift of the strong man, nor oppress the weak for him. Don't that sound like Torah law?
Yeah, that sounds like the Torah.
That sounds like Torah law, right? And it says you don't supposed to accept the gift of the strong man. In other words, you don't supposed to try to do what somebody tells you to do just because they, you know what I'm saying, they strong. Like you fear them for being strong. In fact, it tells you that. That's also in Deuteronomy. Let's find that. I want to bring that out. And see, these right here are Torah law concepts. You know what I'm saying? You don't supposed to be trying to wrest judgment or twist judgment. You know what I'm saying? And that's in Egyptian law too. And it predates Torah law. So I don't understand why people can read all of this stuff as Hebrew Israelites and think that these righteous judgments didn't come from the Most High.
I don't get that.
You know what I'm saying? These are righteous judgments. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't sit up there and tell me that you don't see these righteous judgments. That's what Zadok was trying to tell people when he called in. These are righteous judgments, right? This is Deuteronomy 1. Read verse 17.
Deuteronomy 1.
I'm just throwing this stuff in so y'all can see this stuff. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 1 and verse 17. Ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is God's. And the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it.
He said, you shall not fear or be afraid of the face of man. You shall not have respect of persons. This is telling you in a minimum. Do not confuse a person in the court of law, nor mistreat the righteous. That means you're not supposed to judge against the righteous. Do not give consideration to those in clean clothes and reject those who appear in rags. That's James chapter 2, 1-3. Accept not the gift of the strong man, nor oppress the weak for him. Justice is a great gift of God. It's telling you to practice justice. That's in the law and that's in the New Testament. How did the Egyptians know this before there was a such thing as Israel? They had these Christian values. They had their universal law. But people want to tell you God wasn't dealing with the other nations. Yes, he was, just not to the extent that he dealt with Israel. He didn't appear to the other nations on a mountaintop with all thou shalt not. He didn't do them like that. He dealt with them a little bit more behind the scenes type deal. You follow what I'm saying? That's how he dealt with them. But they got this stuff. And you're seeing this. Let's take a look at another one, LeBron. Let's go to, let's deal with one of the fruits of the Spirit. Let's go to Galatians chapter 5. I can't make this stuff up even if I try. It's right there. That thing reads just like James chapter 2, don't it, LeBron?
It does, and see, here's the thing too, and this is something that anybody can do at home. If you got a computer and you type in, let's say, like eloquent quotes by different people in humanity, and a lot of these people don't even believe in God. People know intuitively and deep inside what's righteous and what's not righteous, and you can see people throwing some beautiful quotes out there dealing with morality, and they're not even religious people at all, and they're saying things in which God gave all of us. We've been saying this from day one, that God gave every nation under heaven. How can he go punish a nation if they have no idea that they're doing wrong? That doesn't make any sense.
You know? And you can see evidence of this in your own Bible. You go and you read in the book of Genesis. It tells you that the men of Sodom were sinners exceedingly. Sinners. What was their sin? There was no Torah law yet.
Exactly.
Somebody tell me that. Somebody tell me how was the people of Sodom and Gomorrah sinning in God's eyes? Because it was God that said that he was going to destroy them. How were they sinning in God's eyes if there was no Torah law? What law were they breaking? Because that's what sin is, transgression of the law. Somebody tell me what law they were breaking. Oh, they were breaking the law of homosexuality. Okay, but that law didn't come to centuries later. In Leviticus, in the wilderness. So it came centuries later with entirely different people who were not Sodomites, who were not Hamites, in another part of the world. So I'm trying to figure out how in the world God going to punish Sodom and Gomorrah for homosexuality when the law concerning homosexuality didn't pop up into the book of Leviticus. And with another nation of people on top of that. Could it be that it was already known and understood that homosexuality was wrong on top of the other stuff that people of Sodom and Gomorrah were doing? Because it wasn't just homosexuality, y'all. It said they were sinners. Use your brain, sisters and brothers. Israel is a young nation. We are a baby nation. Do y'all understand that? Baby nation compared to the other nations. By the time Israel was born, some nations were already a couple of thousand years old. Come on. I mean, when they really got up and going. I'm not talking about when Jacob had his 12 sons. Nope, still wasn't a nation. When they went down to Egypt, no, still wasn't a nation. They were not officially a nation until they came up out of Egypt. How much time had passed by? You know, just from Abraham to Egypt, it tells you it's 400-something years. But by the time Abraham went to Egypt, it was already up and going. And they were already considered the wisest people. They had laws and tenets that predate your Bible. That's a fact. So what that mean? I need to go to Kemet? No, because my Bible tells me on every page that God takes young people and places my head on everybody. That's what he did with Israel. I don't care who came first. I care who God chose. That's what I care about. You know what I'm saying? If you can show me in the Bible where he said he chose the Egyptians as his chosen people, then I'm following Kemet. That's going to be my number one thing that I represent. And I will use the Bible as a secondary source.
And I'm thinking to myself right now that, first does not always mean best anyway. Look at cell phone usage. Look at the cars. Look at airplanes.
Exactly.
First does not always mean the best, y'all. And people that represent Kemet, y'all need to get out of that mindset because it makes no logical sense whatsoever if you look around.
Exactly. In fact, a lot of the brothers in the conscious community are better evolved versions of the teachers they sat under.
Yeah, that's true.
These people came before you. And I look at some of them and I look at who they sat under and I'm like, he's a better teacher than that guy. It's not an insult. You're supposed to get better.
You're supposed to be better, exactly.
But this is Galatians chapter 5. So the spirit thing, we're going to pick out a couple of them. We ain't going to do all of them. Galatians chapter 5. Just read verse 22. Read that.
Galatians 5:22 reads, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith."
Now, it said, but the fruit of the Spirit, fruit means produce or result, meaning this is proof that you have the Holy Spirit. See, a lot of people don't understand that proof that you have the Holy Spirit is these attributes right here.
Actions. Right.
And it's not actions. Yeah, exactly. It's not you how much knowledge you think you got. That's what fruit means. Fruit literally means the result. Like if you do something, man, I hope it bears fruit. That means you hope it bears results.
Right.
So fruit of the Spirit means proof of the Spirit. Because it's the produce or proof that you have. Now look what it says. Let's focus on these two. It says long-suffering and gentleness. Long-suffering means allowing something to go on for a long time. Or patience. So notice, LaVar, that it has patience and gentleness right next to each other. Did you catch that?
Yep.
And these are attributes of the fruit of the Spirit. Let's go again to the book of Amenemoth. We're going to page 61, and let me see if they had this concept too, this Christian value in Kemet. And let me tell you right now, I do not see a lot of gentleness or long-suffering or patience in the country community. I don't see no gentleness over there. Them dudes are vicious over there. They cutthroat over there. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes don't show anybody no mercy. One brother make a mistake over there. One. And they not going to have 10 videos the next day.
Man.
Y'all know it.
Be honest with you, bro. I see the Kemetic version of the prosperity gospel because what they do is capitalize off of that stuff. They monetize it and try to make money. Let's keep it real. That's what they doing.
That's called pimping Kemet. They're pimping Kemet. If you really represent Kemet, you should live like this. This is how you're supposed to live. You know what I'm saying? This is how you are supposed to live, right? Let me see if I got this one right here. Right? Okay, let's see. Amenemoth. Let me make sure I get this here. I don't know if this is the right one. Hold on. I'll just pull it up. Let's see. Yeah, I said let's see, Amenemoth, but that's not who it is. I got the wrong name. It's actually that funny name again. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure I'm pronouncing this right. It's Uksheshanti. There it is. Uksheshanti. I got it, y'all. Uksheshanti. Right? And it's page 64, y'all. It's page 64, and it's section 1. I want y'all to listen to this. And notice in Galatians, what did it do? It put those two words together. It put long-suffering and gentleness, and long-suffering just means patience. If you got another translation, come on, say patience. Look what it says right here. It says, examine every matter that you may understand it. That's some pretty good advice right there, by the way. Do not say, I am learned, but rather set yourself to become wise. In other words, don't be a know-it-all. Do not say, I'm learned. Oh, I already know. But that's not even the point. Look what it says right here. Be gentle and patient, then your character will be beautiful. That's the same thing you said in the fruit of the Spirit. That's two of them right there. Long-suffering and gentleness. Long-suffering means patient. This is in Kemet. So why do these guys think, LeVar, when we go to Kemet, we ain't got to do this no more. We ain't got to have the fruit. We ain't got to obey that white man's Bible. We get to wild out. I'm saying the same thing in Kemet. What are y'all doing over there? That's how I know that 99.9% of the Kemetic country community is phony. Because if these brothers were really trying to get into Kemet, they would be living like Christians. They would be living like Messianic Hebrews. But instead, all they want to do is wipe the Bible off the face of the earth. Not telling you that if you really believe in Kemet, you're going to end up living just like the Bible says you're supposed to live. You still got to be gentle and be patient. It said then your character will be beautiful. This is telling you that you will have a beautiful character. Character is about morality. You're trying to tell me you don't see these Christian values here? And if you do see them, why don't you preach them? In fact, LeVar, when was the last time you seen anybody in the Kemetic conscious community preaching these precepts? When? You tell me when.
Well, I never seen him preach it, but I was happy that the brother I debated brought him out because,
exactly.
They need to hear it.
Exactly. He brought him up. If these people really represent Kemet, LeVar, shouldn't you hear this almost every time you turn on a video?
Yeah, but you don't hear him at all. At all.
You don't hear this at all. You turn on a video and you got a brother sitting around with mics in their hand, don't even got a Egyptian literature book open. They just got mics in their hands just running off at the mouth, telling you what they think, how they feel. Ain't nobody telling us, this how we going to liberate our people. When the main thing we got wrong as a people, I'm talking to black people now, the main thing we got wrong as a people is how we conduct ourselves. That's the number one problem black people got. And that's the number one thing they don't want to talk about. But they come on, they're going to try to liberate somebody. What the character class is at? What the morality class is at, LeVar?
You should start there. You should start right there.
That should be the first thing. We need to change the way we act. When I look at the country community, all I see is a bunch of ignorant Negroes trying to fight for their spot in the spotlight.
That's it. That's it.
Come on, they're trying to uplift somebody. You need to go back to Kemet. That brother you debated, come home, y'all. Come home, y'all. If he really feels that way, let him get the ball rolling. Do some videos, brother. Teach these people. Teach these people this how they're supposed to be acting. Don't be a sellout. Don't sit back and let some elder you sitting under who you know is violating all these tenets get away with it because you want to be part of his group. Start your own group. And teach these people the morals of ancient Kemet, because those were the Kemetic people were a very spiritual people. They were a praying people, and they believed very much that how you act in this life determines where you go when you die. That sounds like a bunch of Christians to me.
Yeah, it sure does.
That's what that sounds like. They weren't no atheists. They weren't no agnostic. They weren't no evolutionists.
New Age garbage.
That's some New Age garbage they feeding y'all. They're trying to strip Kemet of all of their spirituality and replace it with some cold, lifeless science. Telling you the Bible, that's fable, that's myth. All of these standards, you still got to live right. If you represent Kemet, you do know that they taught in ancient Kemet that if you died wrong, you went to the Egyptian version of hell. They called it Duat. D-U-A-T. Duat. They always come out the 42 negative confessions of my eye. They love talking about that. But they're not telling you that these confessions were never made in your lifetime.
Nope.
These confessions were made when you died, and they were written down and buried with you in your coffin because they believed that you would confess this in the afterlife. Why did they believe you had to confess this in the afterlife? Because if you couldn't confess in the afterlife, you went to the Egyptian version of hell. They weighed your heart against the feather of my eye.
Yep.
And if that feather outweighed your heart, you got condemned. That's all in ancient Egyptian literature. They believed in their version of hell just like us, and they did not want to go to hell. In fact, the Egyptians had more to say about death than life.
Yep.
That's why you got the pyramid text. That's why you got the coffin text. That's why you got the coming forth by day, also known as the Book of the Dead. All that stuff is centered around afterlife. Some people were walking around scared of what's going to happen to them when they die. But they tried to make sure they live pure and righteous lives to the best of their ability of what was given to them by the Most High in Kemet. That's why you come across a lot of this stuff that you're reading in the Bible. But you got this new age garbage today called the conscious community that's trying to make you think that the first step to embracing Kemet is wilding out. Disrespecting each other, cursing each other out, embarrassing each other. No diplomacy, shooting up other people's sacred literature. Y'all do know that everybody in ancient Kemet, as far as like the worship of the god, they didn't all believe the same thing. But I don't recall anybody going and taking other people's literature and burning it up. And if they did, and I'm pretty sure you had a situation like that, ain't nothing to do under the sun. It was very disrespectful. It was very offensive. But that's what we do in the conscious community. A brother made one video, and he say something wrong in it. Next thing you know, the next day, 10 videos, everybody attacking their brother. In the conscious community. You know what I'm saying? One bad video, they all over him. And the crazy thing is, the very person that's attacking him, if you're watching it on YouTube, you know how they make the little side videos come up that's related? You know how they do that? When you're watching that video of one brother attacking another, they got a side video that pop up where they in together, teaching together. Ain't no friends in the conscious community. The guy you sitting down teaching that to today will be dogging you tomorrow. And vice versa. That's how they get down over there. It tells you in ancient Kemet, we don't supposed to be like that. Y'all always talk about the ancestors. The ancestors. Do any of y'all even know what the ancestors said? They think Dr. Ben is an ancestor. Dr. Ben is an ancestor. Dr. Ben ain't no ancestor. They don't make that word synonymous with anybody who died. Dr. Ben is not an ancestor, dude. Be serious. Ancestor means somebody from a long time ago. Not somebody who died in my lifetime. How somebody died in your lifetime, LeBar, and they're your ancestor? They just be throwing on, so they ain't what an ancestor is, dude. The ancestors are who we reading right here. Ptah-hotep, Akshet Shanti. You know what I'm saying? Amenemot. Those are the ancestors. Not no Dr. Ben. They disrespect Dr. Ben. You know what I'm saying? Because Dr. Ben was on point on a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff I didn't agree with him on. But these ain't no disrespect to him, but he does not fall under the classification of an ancestor. Now, maybe 5 or 6 generations after his great-great-grandkids don't have some kids, you can call them that. Well, in ancient Egypt, they called people ancestors who died in their lifetime. Well, for one thing, we're not in ancient Egypt. Second of all, if you're going to adopt that concept, then adopt what the ancestor said. But let's keep moving. Let them show us something else. Let's go back. Let's go to Ephesians. These people tripping, man. The conscious community, y'all don't represent Kemet. I don't know what that's supposed to be over there. I see dashikis, I see ox, and I see Egyptian names, but I don't see nobody represent Kemet. That's what's wrong with black people anyway. We always try to make an outward change every time we get into something. When we join the Nation of Islam, we put on some bow ties and some hats. We became Hebrew Israelites. We put on our robes or dashikis, got our stars of David on. We always want to look the part. Nobody want to change the character, though. Same thing with Kemet. It ain't no different. My name is Autumn Ray. I'm Pharaoh. Everybody want to adopt the names. But where's the morality? Why don't you adopt the tenets? That's what I want to know. When are we going to do that? We cursing people out. We dogging each other. It's a shame. That's why I would never join the conscious community. It's corrupt. I'm better off being a Sunday Christian, staying in modern Christianity. That beats the conscious community any day. How we going to go from bad to worse? Well, all they do is preach to you in the Sunday church, and you ain't learning nothing, and it just makes you feel good. And that ain't what they do in the conscious community. Say a couple of speeches, make you feel proud for being black. You know what I'm saying? Butter these women up and tell them they gods, and you go home. What has changed? What has changed? You feel good about yourself. Nothing but motivational speakers, y'all, using Kemet as a gimmick. That's all they doing. And I'm supposed to be taken in by that. I'm supposed to put my Bible down for that crap. Especially when I first Kemet and I see y'all ain't even giving us true Kemet. That's the worst thing. I see if they were telling us to put down our Bibles before and they were giving us this, what we teaching the people tonight. They ain't even giving them that. Did you know, LaVar, that by Kemetic standards, they are damned? We know by Bible standards they damned. By Kemetic standards, y'all are damned. So, I mean, come on. Y'all don't care what the Bible says, but do you know that by Kemetic standards, you're damned? I can go to one verse right now and show you in the Book of the Dead that one of the things it said that you had to confess is that you have not blasphemed the gods. That means you have not denied the gods, you have not spoken against them, and you got somebody representing saying the gods are fake. There are no gods. One of the negative confessions says you did not deny the gods. But you got brothers denying the gods right now. We represent Kemet. That would be like me saying I represent absolute Bible truth, but I deny the God of the Bible. Y'all wouldn't let me get away with that. Y'all would be all over me and LaVar. But they do it all day in the Kemetic conscious community, LaVar, and nobody says anything, or not enough people saying anything. But Ephesians 4:25. Read that, please.
Ephesians 4:25 reads, "Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another."
It says, "Wherefore, put away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another." This is a Christian tenet. It says, put away lying. Right? We don't supposed to lie. And I ain't got to tell y'all, it's a lot of liars in the conscious community. If anybody's telling you that the ancient Egyptians were evolutionists, they're a liar. I'm sorry. I tell them
Big
they
time.
call in, they got a problem with it. They can call in. I'll show them straight up. Look, they were creationists, just like the Bible, just like the Hebrew Israelites. I'll show you that. They weren't no evolutionists. How do you even get that? People try to make Kemet be everything but Kemet, LaVar.
Mm-hmm.
So let me show you the same precept in the Husil. This time we're going to Amenemot for sure. Section 10. Page 61. They don't understand. I see Hebrew Israelites join the Kemet. I see them joining that stuff. Why would you want to be a part of that? But let me let you listen to this, and you tell me if this sounds like something that, you read from the Bible. People need to hear this stuff. And why did I say it was 10? It's actually 9. It's these Roman numerals. I'm sorry, LaVar. It's Amenemot section 9. That's IX. And this is page 61. Look what it says right here. And you tell me what this sounds like. Tell me that it sounds biblical to you, LaVar. I'm just going to read the first 2 lines. "Do not speak falsely to anyone, for it is an abomination to God." That don't sound like the Bible? Something's been an abomination to God? Look what else it says right here. It says, God hates one who falsifies words. And the great abomination of God is deception and double dealing. I mean, come on, y'all. That's a great abomination to God. Deception and double dealing. Y'all know what double dealing means, don't y'all? That means not dealing fair. You know? It says, don't speak falsely to anyone, for it is an abomination to God. Paul said, wherefore put away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor. They took it even further in Kemet. They called it an abomination to God. But then again, you can read in Proverbs, lying lips are an abomination to God.
Mm-hmm.
This was written before this, y'all. So they always talk about, Kemet came before the Bible. A lot of stuff in Kemet came before the Bible. I don't disagree with that. I'm just trying to figure out why y'all ain't living it. Y'all brag about how old it is, but I don't see nobody trying to live it. Ain't nobody even teaching this stuff. How long has the country community been in existence? When was the last time you saw somebody sat down, LaVar, and consistently teach this stuff? I can do it. I'm going to do it. I'm trying to give y'all a moral lesson from Kemet at least once a month on Debate Talk for you, at least. Just strictly from Kemet. These guys don't care nothing about their stuff. They too busy trying to curse each other out and make the other person look bad. So they liberating us. Please, black folks, stop following. And I got to aim this at black folks because ain't no white people in the country community. If there are any white people in the country community, y'all even dumber than black folks because they can't stand the white people over there. But I'm mostly talking to black folks. Y'all got to understand, man, it's a hustle, man. It's a scam. Now, that doesn't mean outside of the country community there are not people who represent Kemet, who actually live this stuff. Go online. There are people who know this stuff, who represent Kemet. They ain't got nothing to do with the country community, and they take this stuff to heart. They live it and teach it, like the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
You go on YouTube and find them. I'm talking about the country community. That stuff right there, that's a sham. That is not Kemet. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It's Kemet when they want to bash the Bible. It's science when they want to get away from the gods and creation stories of Kemet. You know, then it's evolution when they don't like what Kemet says about creation. I mean, they just jump in and out as it's convenient. But look at all these Christian values that we're reading here that they need to adopt. Let's go to another one. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 12. This stuff all through here. We tired of that Bible, LaVar. That's that white man's book. They enslave you with that book. How did they do it? See, they gave you that book, and they told you this is what you're supposed to do. So they forced the book on us that we had to obey. That's right. If you know anything about ancient Kemet, Pharaoh's word was law. So if Pharaoh endorsed this stuff, you had to follow it. It was forced on you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference? If you went to ancient Kemet and said there are no gods, your head will probably end up pinned to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably end up floating in the Nile somewhere. The ancestors would roll over in their graves if they knew the crap that was going on today that people trying to pass off as Kemet. People combining all kinds of stuff with Kemet. You got people talking about reincarnation. The Egyptians did not believe in reincarnation. You follow what I'm saying? Unless you consider them being able to transform to something else in the afterlife as reincarnation, but reincarnation strictly means coming back to this life as something else. You got people in the country talking about chakra levels and stuff. Represent Kemet. Chakra? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
People just playing with Kemet. They make Kemet anything they want to be. It's fun. I ain't representing no Kemet. I be laughing at that stuff. Man, get out of here, man. that atheists represent Kemet. That's the one that just make me just shake my head the most. Atheistic Kemet. A culture that is still having God being discovered today. That people represent it calling themselves atheists. I'm not lying. Do the research. They'll tell you they still unearthing God in Kemet that they didn't know about. Still finding God. 1,000 years later, 5,000 years later, still finding God. And you got people talking about we atheists and we represent Kemet. They still finding God that represent Kemet. What's wrong with you? Y'all can fall for that hustle if y'all want to. I ain't with that crap. It ain't nothing but another prosperity doctrine. Telling people be true to your melanin. So now your skin color makes you powerful. They actually telling people that. Be true to your melanin. Huh? What that even mean?
What does that
true
mean?
to your melanin.
Yeah, what does that mean?
And you'll be powerful. That sounds like the Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
that sounds like to me. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, 19 to 20. Read that, please.
2 Corinthians 12 and 19. Again, think ye that we excuse ourselves unto you? We speak before God and Christ, but we do all things, dearly beloved, for your edifying.
Mm-hmm.
For I fear lest when I come, I shall not find you such as I would, and that I shall be found unto you such as ye would not, lest there be debates, edifying, wrath, strife, envyings, wrath, strife, backbitings, whisperings, swellings, tumults.
Now, look at all the stuff that he named here. And we're going to deal with two of them. First, he said debates. It's not saying it's wrong to debate in general. This is about debating for strife. People just like to argue, right? Then it said envying, wrath, strife. I like these two right here. Backbitings and whisperings, because both of these are talking about slander, right? That's what they're talking about. Let's take a look at this one, LeBron. This time we're going to the wisdom literature, the literature of ancient Egypt. That's the name of this book. You know what I'm saying? And we're reading the maxims of PT.2 from this book. It's also in the Husia, but I like the way it reads in the literature of ancient Egypt. And this was translated by Raymond Oliver Faulkner and William Kelly Simpson, those and a few other authors. But if you just type in those names on Google with the title of the book, you'll find it. So when you talk about backbiting, again, and whispering, that's about slander, right? We're going to the maxims of PT.2. In this particular book, you don't have it in sections. You have it in verses. And this is verse 23. Look what it says right here. It says, do not repeat slander, and do not listen to it, for it is but the prattling of a churlish man. Repeat only what is seen, not what is heard, or forget it and say nothing at all. They're speaking against slander. Paul was saying, I hope I don't find anybody being slanderers when I show up. Meaning Paul was speaking against it too. That's what a whisper and a backbiter is. This guy is that do not repeat slander. Don't even listen to it. Then he said, repeat only what is seen, not what is heard. In other words, believe what you see, not what you hear. We say that today, don't we, LeVar?
We sure do.
It's right here. It's in Kemet. Why isn't nobody sitting down teaching this stuff every video? I mean, every video that comes up on YouTube concerning the conscious community should be teaching this stuff. Every video. I don't want to hear about no economic advancement. They have some economic advancement. Man, we don't even know how to act as black people. How we going to get some money?
Especially don't know how to act when you get money.
Exactly. Teach these people how to act. Teach them that. Can we learn how to act? Can we do that? No, we don't want to do that. Be crazy with this stuff, right? Let's take a look at something else. I got to deal. I promised them I was going to deal with this God thing. You know what I'm saying? Because they love saying that in the conscious community, boy. They just eat that for lunch. What's up, God? What up, God? You know what I'm saying? This is from the literature of ancient Egypt. This is the instructions of Amenemhat. You follow what I'm saying? This is chapter 20. This is chapter 20, and this is paragraph. It says 21, 20. I don't know what that means, but you will find it. Look what it says right here. It says, do not arrogate to yourself the might of God, as if destiny and fortune, these were two deities, by the way, destiny and fortune did not exist. LeVar, it said, do not arrogate to yourself the might of God. Now, what we're going to do, so y'all can make sure y'all understand this, is we're going to go on Google search, and we're going to type in the word arrogate, so y'all can know exactly what this word means. Arrogate. Look what it says. Take or claim something without justification. This is from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary we're going to read. It says, arrogate, to take or claim something such as a right or privilege in a way that is not fair or legal. Now, LeVar, I got a question for you. This is one of them common sense questions. Why would the Egyptians tell you not to arrogate the might of God to yourself if they believed everybody was God anyway?
Because that's something sacred. If everybody becomes God, then everybody is equal. They didn't believe everybody was equal. They believed in a higher power.
So why did they do not arrogate to yourself the might of God? That means don't falsely claim the might of God. There's no way in the world that in the instructions of Amenemhat they will have a commandment in there saying, don't arrogate to yourself the might of God if everybody God.
That would take away the purpose of even having a pharaoh.
Exactly. Everybody wasn't God. God was a status that could only be achieved in Egypt through appointment. You had to be appointed that. And ain't none of these guys in the conscious community been appointed that. But everybody God. It said don't arrogate to yourself the might of God. Don't claim to be God. That's what that is saying. But they can arrogate to yourself the might of God. You're saying it ain't no creator, but you're saying you're God. That's you arrogating to yourself the might of God. That's the same thing the Bible says. It is against the Bible for us to claim to be God. Y'all know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why Peter didn't let Cornelius bow down to him. That's why when those pagans tried to sacrifice to Paul and Barnabas because they thought they were Jupiter and Mercury, they stopped them. They thought Paul and Barnabas was God. If they would have allowed those people to sacrifice to them, they would have been arrogating to themselves the might of God. That's why when John in the book of Revelation bowed down to that angel, he said, see that you do it not, for I am your brother and a fellow servant. This same thing existed in Kemet. And you got all these brothers over there arrogating the might of God. Everybody's a God over there. Like I said, I can show you from Kemet that you're damned. I ain't got to go to the Bible. I can damn you in your own book because y'all don't really represent it. But everybody a God over there, though, LeVar. Everybody is a God. Let's deal with something else. This will be the last one. You know, I can go on with more, but, you know, this will be the last one. Let's deal with the white man. You want to deal with that, LeVar?
Why not? They deal with it. They deal with it every single day on every video. Why not?
This right here, they love talking about that. This is a, let me give you the exact spot where this is. I tell you, man, this is the book of prayers and sacred praises. I'm still trying to figure out who the world they praying to, LeVar, if the Egyptians didn't believe in God. Who they praising? You know what I'm saying? But this is section 9, and this is Pharaoh Akhenaten. This is the same a song of praise that he's singing to the God. Incidentally, it's to the God Amun-Ra. Ain't that funny? To the God Amun-Ra. I want you to listen to this, little boy, and as I read, I want you to be honest with me. Tell me, does it sound like the Bible? Listen to this. It says, "How manifold are your works, though hidden from sight, O sole God, besides whom there is none." Sound like, okay. You created
that
earth.
Sound like book Isaiah.
Don't it? It does, doesn't it? You created earth according to your desire, you alone. All people, cattle, and all kinds of animals, all on earth that walk on legs, and all on high that fly with wings. Listen to this. You set every person in his or her place and satisfy their needs. Y'all know good and well that if the country community was listening to this and they didn't hear where I started at, they'll think I'm just reading the Bible.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Think. But listen to this, though. This is where it really gets funny. It said all have food and their time of life is determined. Their tongues differ in speech, and so do their characters. So it's somebody having different languages. Listen to this. The colors of their skins are different also, for you distinguish the people.
Wow.
Wait, let me read that again. The colors of their skins, I'm not paraphrasing this, it actually says it verbatim. The colors of their skins are different also. And it tells you why. For you distinguish the people. So why do we have all these different colors and races in the world, LeVar, according to the ancient Egyptians? Why do we have all this?
Because their God created these things.
Because God created it that way. So where are they getting? They represent Kemet, telling you the white man ain't even all the way human, or he's a degenerate human. But the ancient Egyptians believe that God created all these different colors from the beginning. It said their tongues differ in speech. Y'all know that's about different languages. That's true today. Don't you got people speaking different languages today? And so do their characters. Don't we got different physical characteristics like hair, texture, eye color? That's what we mean when they say their characters. Then it says the colors of their skins are different also, for you distinguish the people. How excellent are your ways, O Lord of eternity. So if you represent Kemet, you got to believe this, because that's what the ancestors believe. That's what they believe, LeVar. Where y'all getting this stuff? The white man is the devil. Where y'all getting that from? Or that he mutated from black people? Where you getting that from? Because what I'm reading right here, it says he distinguished the people. And it means this in a good way. I don't understand, LeVar. Let me go to this one more right here. I got to end it with this. Because these people right here, boy, I tell you, boy, these people, I don't even know what they even own over there. It ain't no Kent. Say what?
They on some trash.
They on some trash. We're still in what we just read out of, that was the Hosea. This is the Hosea again. This is the book of Kemet. This is section 2, page 50. Listen to this, because they want to give you this new age stuff. This is what the ancients said. This is what the ancestors said. And I read section 2. Follow in the footsteps of your ancestors, for the mind is trained through knowledge. Behold, their words endure in books. Open and read them and follow their wise counsel. So what this is telling me right here is that I'm supposed to believe what the ancestors believe, not no new age garbage that they're finding in the Christ community. And it tells you how to follow them. It says, behold, their words endure in books. That's what we're reading right now. We're reading the book of Kemet right now. So the ancient Egyptians admonished their people to follow in the footsteps of the ancestors. You know what that means? If the ancient Egyptians were creationists and you follow in their footsteps, you're supposed to be a creationist too. So who are you going to believe? The ancestors or these conscious community leaders who just basically making it up as they go?
That's all they do.
I'm gonna let you decide. See you next time. We can go to the phones now, Sal, whenever you're ready.
Hello? All right, we only have like maybe 2 or 3 minutes left, so let's take we only got time for one call. Let's make it quick. 646-399, live in air.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just wanted to make sure what that source book was. That source was. You said Surya or Huria.
Oh no.
Could you repeat that?
Oh no.
Spell it again.
It's called. Let me pull it up for you. It's called Selections from the Husia, Sacred Wisdom of Ancient Egypt, and it's a beautiful book.
Selections from the Husia.
Yes, the whole title is Selections from the Husia, then it has a colon, Sacred Wisdom of Ancient Egypt. And it's like a beige-colored book. And it's written by Malana Karenga. And whether you're in the country community or not, get that book. It's a beautiful book.
You get another call real quick. It's short time. Awesome lesson.
Praise God.
All right, so Brother Josh has said some last words with the people out there, and we can pretty much wrap it up. Go ahead.
Okay, so I appreciate that too, right? And appreciate everybody listening in. And let me just say that, this is not an attack on the conscious community. This is a admonishment. You follow what I'm saying? Oh, we're trying to admonish you, trying to get you to get these people right. If you say you represent Kemet, then represent Kemet. You follow what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to get people to understand more than anything.